we dance for super. The dragons teach us that if we want to climb high, we must do it against the wind.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another day of the Overwatch League APAC edition. It's the final day of the week, the final day ahead of the Midseason Madness tournament. I'm Achilleos. Joining me is Avril. Had leg day filling in. Thank you so much for holding down the fort in my absence. But oh boy, it is time to focus up for some gameplay because this is going to be an incredible one as per usual. It's the classic. It's Dynasty going up against Fusion. Dynasty firmly in that first place spot. Fusion looking to rectify some of the mistakes that we've seen from them throughout this second leg of the season.
The classic Spaghetti Bowl matchup, my favorite matchup from all of 2021 last year. And, well, it's a little bit different this year because it's been fairly one-sided so far. This is the kind of Seoul versus Fusion rivalry has been brewing ever since, I think, the 2020 playoffs. We talked about the history in depth so far. Seoul currently, like you mentioned, at the top of the standings. They were the first team in our region to qualify through the Midseason Madness. Philadelphia Fusion, after winning their most recent game, were also able to qualify on through Chengdu. Unfortunately, couldn't beat Shanghai, so there you go, 7 points there in number 4. Neither of these two teams can currently move in the standings. So Seoul are guaranteed number 1, Fusion are guaranteed number 4, but they do qualify. It's really about those two middle teams that's of which Hangzhou will be playing today. If Hangzhou win at all today, they will be overtaking Dragons to get the number 2 seed.
They're going to be vying for that spot, have some better seating overall for the tournament as we get ready to have some international competition. That gets me excited, and I hope you guys are excited for that as well, but we do have to wait a little bit longer. We have to go through these series here today. All you can be assured of is that it's going to be a hell of a lot better than what was witnessed on NA at the beginning of the evening, because I stayed up, I watched that game. I don't know why I did it, kind of regret it, but it was still entertaining the whole way through. But yeah, pretty tragic stuff, but that's why we watch APAC, because we're smarter, we're superior. Anyway, hype matchup means hype video. We've got something special prepared here for you guys as we get ready to go into the season, so let's go ahead and roll the tape.
Yeah. I was born with the story, I was born for the glory. Through the heat and the rain, can't deny and ignore me. I'm bred for commitment, signed up for a mission. Yeah, it comes with the price, it's all in the description. My time has arrived, I can't hesitate. Nothing is in my way, knocking down barricades. On a different type of time, dreams are never late. From the jump, I'm the person you can never break. Working after hours. Seize the moment, I can't back up, call a coward. Student of the game, like I ball at Howard. You can cut me down, I can't be devoured. Heart on 10, courage on 10, all I think is win. I can't watch it in 2020 through the lens. When I fell off, I always had to try again. Got the code that connected like I'm signing in. Ain't got time for indecision.
And there we have it, Dynasty versus Fusion to kick off the last day ahead of the mid-season madness. And while this doesn't have any implications as far as seeding is concerned, it's always a treat to watch these guys square off. Like you said, has been more one-sided as of late because Dynasty have just been on an absolute tear, very much solidifying themselves in that top spot for the region. We're hoping that Fusion can step up to the plate and deliver an exciting matchup here today.
I mean, I tell you what, pride is on the line for sure because, you know, these two teams, as I mentioned, the history goes back a reasonable while now. You know, all the way back into 2020 playoffs, a couple of tweets sent those boats sailing, and, you know, we've been in the Trojan War since. So, Seoul Dynasty, last 2 times that they have faced off against the Philly Fusion have been full sweeps. It was a 3-0 in Kickoff Clash, a 4-0 in the finals of the Kickoff Clash, and now who knows what the result could be. Fusion, maybe they're in a bit of a comeback. They had a bit of a struggle in the regular season here as well, where they had that 1 week losing to Valiant. That was a reverse sweep, losing to Chengdu in the same week. Unfortunately, they got wiped by the Dragons as well, but they were able to, you know, beat the Hangzhou Spark, they beat the Guangzhou Charge as well. And in the past, they had great results versus the Shanghai Dragons, so not out of the question that a team like the Fusion could still make a bit of a comeback here. I want to see them competitive. This has been a fun matchup that we've had in the past, and let's hope the fun continues.
Oh, for sure. And I mean, this is also a rivalry that kind of transcends just the Overwatch League. If you pay attention to a couple other esports out there, you know, the parent companies of T1 Gen.G have often had a bit of a rivalry back and forth, both in-game and also between CEOs Arnold and Joe Marsh. Like to go ahead and talk some trash at each other. So this is always a great matchup to see, and one of them is going to be able to hold their heads high and talk some smack at the end of it all. Dynasty going to be looking for a clean win, though. They want to maintain that dominance in the region and have a hell of a lot of momentum to drive them forward into the mid-season madness, where they will get ready to take on some of the teams from North America. Fusion, again, looking to spare some blushes. Here's the map set as we kick things off on Control. It's going to be Oasis to start things off, and then always a bit of a cause for concern. Midtown is the hybrid map.
Woo!
Oh, baby. We'll see what happens. It was a bit of a Midtown incident in that Titans Justice series. Granted, I think every single map in that series was a bit of an incident, so it's hard to single out Midtown. But here we go. We'll jump right into Oasis first.
You talked about the Seoul dominance so far that they've shown so far in the season. Well, you know, let's get into that a little bit, because we have a major win streak. 8 games in a row now. 8 series, 8 matches in a row for the Seoul Dynasty that they've won. That includes, again, a 7-0 in terms of maps versus the Philly Fusion themselves this year. So Fusion have yet to take a map off the Seoul Dynasty so far in 2022. Plenty of time to change those fates. Coming through on the opening rollout, Smurf onto the Doomfist, Fitz playing the Ashe, MN3 matching. We are seeing a lot of Ashe coming through in the APAC region now.
Yep, and MN3 did recently just pick up a player of the match for himself with that. See if he can do it once more. Profit on the Tracer, getting over here by Belos Rietli, scouting out, spotting where the Fusion players are at. Point now going to be unlocked as the Fusion start making their way forward, looking for some targets. Smattering some damage thus far. No one really finding too much purchase here on the point itself. Smurf just going to take that seismic slam over towards the health pack, keeps himself safe, but off screen. Vixa gets on top of Benheim, manages to take him out with a whip shot. It's going to be Fusion who lock things down first and foremost here on University. So continuing a bit of a botch on the dynamite toss, but Vince is dead.
It won't matter there. The damage has already been found by the rest of the members. MN3 got a final blow anyway for the Philadelphia Fusion, in order to get that first fight victory first to actually get on top of the point when the point unlocks. Smurf taking a bit of pressure, can't make a dive happen. Balastria is inside them, and Philadelphia Fusion will be pleased with the opening fight win, which is also a 4 final blows to none so far. Soul get to pick up a kill and then initial fight, but they do have Nano coming online very quickly from Creative.
Pulse out from Zest, not going to find anything. Profit still trying to catch up, 18% off of that one there. Smurf just makes his exit, rejoins in with the rest of the team, does get pile driven from behind, but Belstria not going to be able to lock down that Doomfist too much. Looks to roll through, good shield bash, will knock him away. Sleep Dart connected on his Zest, and Profit is there for the alley-oop. Managed to find the opening kill, will be the first one here for the Dynasty thus far on the map, and even with just that, it's enough for them to get the flip. I'm not sure I understand this Nano, though.
Not too sure if Vindame maybe got low there. Creative Valley was keeping Vindame alive. Certainly he's been a bit of a raid boss on this break so far. Some heroics being shown there. The Ashe players will be trading out. couple of frags going through. Smurf almost on the meteor strike. AimGod has his Transcendence available. Fix through off the rally.
I mean, yeah, they're trying to win this one out. They might just be able to do it. Fitz now going to be taken down. Prophet rejoining what he can get done. Transcendence still going to be held on to. Fixin now going to be taking a nap. Does get woken up, but it's going to be Vinham is the Brigida that ends up falling. Bionade is out, but AimGod can't get the kill. The Transcendence healing is there on the back end. They keep Fixa alive. Fusion still looking for the flip, but now AimGod going to fall. Prophet finding an elimination, but now Smurf going to be taken down. Flip nearly there, back into control for the side of the Fusion. Zest, however, falling. Creative finding a nice little shot, but Bob will get Fixa. That's the supports widely out of the fight here, and it seems like the Dynasty should be able to persevere, especially with that final kill there on to MN3 for some additional stagger. They managed to win out the fight despite the swings back there in the Fusion's favor. They hold on to the point, now they have the lead.
I mean, you look at the actual cap itself as well. Philadelphia Fusion almost got that flip over. Seoul Dynasty, I believe, contested the very final second possible. Bob pulling a lot of weight there as well. Fitz committing that one tells you the Seoul Dynasty do not want to give it the point. They do not want to give it the fight. And they do indeed turn it back around despite the double support ultimates from the Fusion. Let's see if Velas Ria can live here. He got quite low on the HP.
The Bobs have been putting in some overtime as of late here in the APAC region. It's a hell of a lot of heavy lifting from them. And seems like this map not going to be too much different there. Initial kills coming through. The DPS going to be broken down. The supports fall on the back end. Dynasty firmly in control now. Still holding on to 2 ultimates. Fusion with nothing are in last fight territory.
Yeah, and the timing is really awful as well. Fixer coming back over to a Ana. More importantly, MN3 on the Sombra just to enable extra touching ability. So 3 players that can actually touch here. MN3 will be lacking a lot of damage. We'll see if the Fusion can hold on. Okay, well, it was. I know you got scared there. We did just watch out Titans earlier on, but you know, hopefully Fusion can do a better job.
Okay, Prophet going to be whiffing the Pulse Bomb. They get the Sleep Dart. AimGod's got the charged up right click to find the elimination, but Velas Ria was taken down in the meantime. So many people occupied in that back line. Touch comes in once more from Zest. Discord Orb out onto the Tracer. He's going to have to get back in. Dashes forward, pops the recall. MN3 down to a sliver of HP. Narrowly manages to survive. The Fusion playing around with the time pick as much as humanly possible here with that overtime bar. Bob, as you say, now going to be invested. Sat here on the point. Discord Orb is there. He helps burn down Velas Ria. And while they did manage to find Vinham, they weren't playing the point. LT bleeds away very quickly. So it will be the Dynasty taking this first point, 147%.
Very difficult to play the point when Sabob comes on through, right? You see Philadelphia Fusion darting in and out. Watching that overtime wick go down rather to, you know, basically nothing. Somebody from Fusion will engage the touch. They keep it going for as long as they can, but the damage was definitely lacking. MN3 coming back on a Sombra, as mentioned. Not going to have the same impact as the Ashe. You're not going to be able to find those very important burst damage kills, a headshot onto Prophet, something like that to buy you back in. So Philadelphia Fusion just desperately looking for anybody. Bob cleans them up. Seoul Dynasty take our first round. But very competitive so far. As you know, even the kills would say that 12 to the Seoul Dynasty, 10 from the Fusion side of things. So only 2 final blows separating these 2 teams. Moving over towards City Center. Fitz will shelve the Ashe for now and go on the Sojourn.
MN3 is still just going to be sticking through. And we still get that Doom Meatball matchup here. Volley not going to be finding too much, just fishing around with those left clicks looking for any kind of stray damage he can get. Prophet going to be forced to recall now. Zest doing the same. Finally winning out the fight here, but he'll start coming Prophet's way. Discord Orb out as well, and Zest will just go ahead and disconnect from the fight. Overall, pretty even on that Pulse Bomb charge between the 2 Tracers. As Velas Ria trying to contest over towards Street side. AimGod will find Fitz. He looks to crash through, can't make it happen. Gets slumped for just a moment, but woken up quickly thereafter, so can make his exit to safety. The Fusion once more will find the initial lockdown of the point.
It's 2 in a row now, that's Fusion. Opening frags look pretty good as well. AimGod in that first blood. You see the difference between the Ball and the Doom here as well. I think Smurf definitely just has a little bit more trouble staying alive. Ball has the survivability and the mobility as well to just roll around. Very great on a map like City Center. Seoul Dynasty. Fitz now coming back on towards an Ashe. So the Sojourn experiment lasts a very short amount of time. The Nano, as you mentioned, has now been applied.
And it doesn't lead to a kill though. MN3 is actually going to be able to win out that fight point blank against Smurf. Massive kill here for the Fusion to be able to hold on to the point. Prophet and Zest both using Pulse Bombs, both finding no kills for them. As the rest of the Dynasty just look to go ahead, pull back over towards the spawn room, wait for Smurf to rejoin. Operate together as a 5-man unit. Gets on the late swap, obviously not going to have the Bob. MN3's got it in the pocket.
I mean, what you see there with the Nano is that, okay, it keeps Smurf alive with a Doom, but it's not going to really enable the damage. You still need Prophet to connect those dives together. Ideally, if Fitz can add some damage in there as well, it'd be really nice. That's kind of the difference, right, between a Doom and the ball at the same time. Ball's burst damages can be pretty decent. Fitz will take down MN3.
Let's look at Fixa as well.
Soul Dynasty
low.
they're looking for.
Yeah, they force the Immortality Field out as well. Dynamite around the corner, just going to be chipping away at the Baptiste. He's going to leap up onto the high ground now just to try to stay a little bit more safe. Prophet goes in for the chase, however, continues to take him lower and lower, and finally, we'll find that elimination. AimGod not in a position to try to offer up that Transcendence to keep his cohort alive. Even then, not sure if he would have wanted to use it in that moment. They know that they do have time on their side, as they're getting closer now to 99%. Bellisria going down, Fixa now going to be swapping over.
Double.
Thinks better of it, goes back over to the Brigida. Zest will die, and the flip is finally there, 93% established for the Fusion.
Okay, and they will have a couple ultimates coming online, importantly, to hold on to this as well. So Philadelphia Fusion, happy with the 93 so far, I believe. And Soul Dynasty should be another Nano coming through onto Smurf. And you know, in saying that, we have actually started seeing some Nanos being applied to Ashe players, some Tracer players as well. It's not guaranteed necessarily for the Doom player, however, you know, Smurf being the player that dives on end is probably going to need some saving. But thankfully for Smurf, there's not insane counters on the other side from the Fusion side of things. There's no Ana, right? Zest will be able to do some decent damage on that Trace. We'll see if that stick does come on through.
Bob on the ready, AimGod forced to use the Transcendence. Zest just diving over towards the Zenyatta to stay safe. Deep dive in from Smurf, instantly goes into the Meteor Strike. He's looking for the elimination here. Onto AimGod, the Bionade is absolutely massive. Catches onto 3 and Fitz can clean up the kills. Now MN3 being put in the corner. Punch through, Vinheim arrives, the whip shot gets the elimination. A massive one fight there off the back of a Meteor Strike and an Anti.
A really good pincer maneuver as well for Soul Dynasty, right? You see Smurf go for the Meteor Strike deep into the back line. He instantly punches players back into his own team, connecting everything together. You talked about the Bionade as well. Fitz getting the damage in there for Soul Dynasty. Exactly what they need. 2 ultimates spent. But a very resounding one fight there. Here comes that Bob
Once
coming
more.
through.
Well, they're looking for the dive again, but Fixa this time. Shield Bash able to finish off Prophet. Good damage coming in from
He's
him.
just dodging the Bob through
He's
the
just
tree.
eating the Bob, but Smurf gets into the back line, finds him in the end. It's going to be a trade out on those DPS. Zest still staying alive. Still quite far away from having that pulse at the ready. Seismic Slam, Smurf just looking to continue to contest the point, making sure the Fusion cannot reflip this because both teams now in that final fight territory. Whoever controls it just needs to win out one more. That's basically going to be the round over. Pulse Bomb goes through, but AimGod dead ahead of time before the explosion even comes in. Prophet dodging traffic, Fixa now gone.
Double
So the
supports.
out of the fight, and it looks like Dynasty may just be able to end it right here, right now. The flip has come through. Fusion get a couple extra seconds to play with as the Dynasty flip this back under their control. But now it's there. The OT starts bleeding away. It's going to have to be Zest that goes for the touch. Manages to make his way forward. Prophet takes a nasty shot of damage. He can stop back up. Bellisria crashing through, just rolling around on the
needs
inside,
Bob.
trying to stay alive, but he's going to be taken down. MN3, the Bob, nearly there, just 2% away, but somebody needs to get the touch, and Fixa is just a second too late. The Dynasty, they'll be able to close out City Center and take Oasis and kick things off with a 1-0 scoreline.
What we see is Fusion, they're able to actually get, you know, these initial fight wins, the opening skirmishes, the opening neutrals go their way, especially on University, a 4-0 in terms of final blows. Seeing on City Center, rather, AimGod will find that first blood and they can, you know, do a little bit of snowballing, but not quite enough to maintain control all the way to 99 or get that round win. 93 is still pretty damn good, don't get me wrong, but once Soul Dynasty get that flip, their control of the point, their defensive play is, well, actually, it's pretty offensive when you consider the fact that Smurf is just going to go super deep. You saw the Fitz Bob coming through for the spawn camping as well. MN3 doing his best Shaq hiding behind a lamppost impression. He actually was dodging out the Bob shots by hiding behind a very thin tree, but it wasn't going to be enough, right? Soul Dynasty, they had the pace, they had the tempo to keep Fusion locked up in spawn for as long as possible, and then play the rest of the fight on the actual point when the OT hits in, getting both supports. That's going to be GG.
Well, there you go. A map win here for the side of the Dynasty. Fusion, though, looking competitive. Just can't quite get those rounds under their belt to try to take Oasis. Midtown is going to be coming up next. We'll see what happens as we jump into Hybrid, see whether or not the Fusion can tie up this series or if the Dynasty will continue their dominance over this squad here in 2022 and take it to match point. That's going to be coming up in just a few minutes, so do not go anywhere. And we are back. The Dynasty continuing on their reign of terror. They start things off 1-0 here with a 2-0 win on Oasis. Now we turn our sights over to Midtown to see whether or not the Fusion can have an inverse incident, a moment, I suppose is what we could call it, and tie things up 1-1.
Pretty sure the last Midtown that Fusion played was actually pretty reasonable.
It was.
Pretty sure they actually won that one, but you know, there's still a few scars and there's some battle scars from previous little visits to New York. But going into the next map, yeah, I mean, looking forward to more. Well, actually, I don't even know who's going to play. We'll see if Seoul Dynasty make any substitutions, because I was going to say Fitz was pretty insane on Oasis, and he is going to be substituted out for Stalker, who at this stage, I mean, it's hard to say, because I want to say that Stalker's going to come into play Sojourn, but is he? Since most of our teams now in Asia are actually kind of favoring the Ashe instead, and the more I look at it, the more I'm like, maybe it is the right pick. And if you remember, we at the start of the season, especially in the kickoff clash, I'm like, oh my god, why are these people playing Ashe? Like, what's going on? Are we back in 2021? But when we are in a Sojourn meta and we think about, you know, consistency of damage, Sojourn's got great burst damage, don't get me wrong, but the consistency of damage that I've been seeing over this weekend and in the past week as well from our Ashe players, and the fact that they are choosing to play this hero more, really speaks volumes, especially when you consider Fitz dominated on the Ashe pick on Oasis. 12,000 damage per 10, 12 final blows, just really did a lot for the team. That's nearly a deadlift. It was 25 total final blows, Fitz had 12.
Pretty damn good, as it turns out, but Stalker has been looking excellent as of late here in this second stage of the season so far, so unsurprising to see the swap come through, and like I said, likely going to be the Sojourn from him, as we see it highlight right now, but even when he does have that Ashe in his own hands, it has not been too bad. And you see here the writers taking some stuff from what you said. Not dropped a single map this season.
The 7 becomes 8 now. It's becoming 8, so the list is growing. The number is growing. I mean, if nothing changes, it'll be 10-0 by the end of this. It'll be 3 total series between Seoul Dynasty and the Philadelphia Fusion.
Can we just run that stat card every map? If Dynasty continue to win, can you just put that up at the start of every single map?
It just keeps going up. It just doesn't stop. No, I'm sure the Fusion will get one. I'm sure the Fusion will be able to, you know, play up to the Seoul Dynasty. I mean, we even saw the LA Valiant of all teams have an incredibly close game against the Seoul Dynasty, despite it being an 0-3. So let's see what happens here. Midtown has started. Stalker definitely over towards the Sojourn, and I think he's probably been, in my opinion, the most exciting Sojourn play that we've had so far in the region. I mean, Shy and Leave have looked great as well. Lip has had some brilliant moments, but Stalker's been so damn consistent on this hero.
That he has been. Okay, well, that's just dead. Creative finding a little pick off. In all likelihood, just going to be the charged up right click. Go ahead and finish the Tracer. That's going to put a halt to anything Fusion wanted to get done early days here on this attack.
You know what? It's crazy, but Seoul have really 2 good Zen players on this team, because we also got some Zen stats with Vindane from one of his previous games on that hero. He had fantastic stats to show, great performances. Creative is another player that can play this, so for the Seoul Dynasty, despite Vindane being a main support player, he's been picking up all these flex supports, including now this BAF as well. Really adds to the repertoire of Seoul Dynasty's embarrassment of riches, right? It's like every single player on every single role playing up to the maximum output that they can. Philadelphia Fusion, though, full control in this fire station. They have the upper floor. They're going to set up the dive now. Where can they go?
Looking for it. Oh, well. Creative is going into the stratosphere, it would seem. Pile driver into the rail. Headshot. MN3 absolutely annihilates him. Been narrowly trying to stay alive, but obviously can't really heal himself outside of that shift, which had already been burned, so Zets is able to clean it up. That's the supports now out of the fight. Dynasty now needing to clutch up a bit, but it's just going to be on Stalker and Prob, who are worse for wear at the moment. Stalker will go down. It seems like the Fusion, after draining about half the time away, the initial time bank, go forward. Should be able to get this cap coming through. They start rolling up. There's going to be one tick. The recontest can come in from the side of the Dynasty.
Yeah, they are going to come back in here. Prophet's already been able to get the initial touch, but can they go further? They are going to have to give up 2 ticks for it. They're waiting for the tank. Here comes Smurf. And with that, should be able to get the final control here. Smurf is nearly on flux, by the way.
Prophet contests once more. The pulse pump goes out. It's going to be just eaten by the Immortality Field. Creative managing to find one, but Prophet does get taken down. So it supports finding DPS, but now Smurf will die just moments before he was going to be able to get that flux online. Cleanup is there. It's going to be just over 4 minutes now here in the time bank for the Fusion on the second phase of the Streets attack.
That's the thing about retaking on a Sigma, right? It can be a little bit difficult. You can't just dive on top of the point, throw the shield out, hope for the best, try and do a little bit of damage, get that flux in there, hope that AimGod doesn't have Transcendence. He actually didn't at the time that the flux would have been available, but now both those Zenyatta's are going to have that tool available for well, the counterplay, whatever that ends up being, specifically AimGod to counter the flux from Smurf. But props to Fusion for playing that one patiently, right? You just talked about the fact that they spent nearly 2 minutes setting up for the dive, but one good dive will get them control the point, and they're able to make that into a cap and over towards B, where ultimates are coming online. They didn't really have to spend before A, did they? So pretty good.
Not bad at all. Zest just trying to keep tabs there on Prophet. Pulse Bomb at the ready from Zest. See if you can find a prime target to open things up. Ult's bound for the side of the Dynasty. Fusion just one behind, but Vixenialer with the window should be able to match rather quickly here. Here, window going to be opened up in Binham, but Creative gets taken down. MN3 once more with a headshot rail. Gets rid of that enemy Zenyatta. Flux now going to be used, and they whiff. So doesn't find
everything's
a damn person. I was going to say, where's the transfer AimGod? Oh, he doesn't need to use it because Smurf got nobody.
Well, you couldn't even see anybody here. Everyone's just kind of split from the Fusion, right? You have Tracer, Ball, you have MN3, the Soldier that can slide out. Do you have a kill to Zest over here, so Seoul Dynasty are going to force to reset. Maybe it's like Fusion are thinking about staying. Now that Stalker's actually used the ultimate, Fusion do back out a little bit. AimGod to respond to the trans.
They're trying to just pile in on top of him, but they cannot force him out, but they do deny him getting any value from that. Oh my goodness, what a lobbing from Prophet. There's a Hail Mary toss, manages to find the target, gets in on top of AimGod. Now he's looking for Fixa, who's really got nowhere to go. Prophet takes the health pack away from him just to really ensure victory. Somewhat predicts the recall, but Zest still able to make his way out of there. So really nicely one fight from the side of the Dynasty, being able to finally halt this cart.
Yeah, and you know, it starts from the kill to Zest, right? Then Prophet can go kind of buck wild to the back line after that. The Seoul Dynasty, up until that stage, was looking pretty dire. They had kind of whiffed the window, doesn't really give them a lot of value because Philadelphia Fusion could just pull back. Creative was already dead anyway. Smurf missed the flux entirely. Stalker, well not Stalker, the MM3 just slides on out. Stalker responds with the overdrive, and it's overclock rather. Seems like Fusion might be back up. They choose to stay on in. They're overstaying their welcome, but they still have 2 ultimates available. So we've seen Stalker use the overclock. Now it should be MM3's time.
See if he can find value where Stalker was unable to. The window going to be coming through. Overclock still not popped. Everybody just kind of scattering away from this position. Wants to hold it. Nade goes down. Trying to cut off that potential flank. Window used aggressively. Yeah, right in front of him. And they really want him out of this position. They will successfully shove him back. And now it's just going to be Zest keeping the cart contained, locked there at the base of the final ramp. They have not been able to advance it. It's down to 1 minute and 8 seconds here for the side of the Fusion. M3 still holding the ult. Flux coming through. This time does get the catch. MN3 taken down before he gets slammed to the ground. That means that the Immortality Field cannot keep him protected. Good focus fire there. Good awareness from the side of the Dynasty as Smurf just continues to advance forward. And AimGod is out in no man's land. Stalker will clean up both of the supports. Bellisrian out, not standing a chance, will end up dying as Stalker comes up with, I believe, at least a 3K, maybe even 4 in that fight. It's just dying on the back end. Fusion now, final fight to try to get this push coming through.
All 5 went down there, Zest being the last member, so a decent amount of staggers. 30 seconds or more lost there by the Philadelphia Fusion. I mean, I kind of credit them and even complimented them for the patient play onto A for setting up a good dive, but now on B, they're being a little bit too patient. We still haven't seen this overclock. Smurf has a second flux after whiffing the first one. The second one does get MN3 and he's instantly dead. So, Philadelphia Fusion, 4 ultimates available. They have to push this to the end now with what's online.
Pile driver used. Smurf knocked down to about half HP, but able to get sustained back up to full HP. Here's the overclock. Instant headshot on the Stalker. Massive pickoff. He's looking for another target. Sees Vinheim there for just a moment. Plays around the train car. Tries to send a shot over towards his little tippy toes. Won't manage to make it hit, but does turn back down into the tunnel. The underpass finds Prophet. The cart now finally advancing once more for the side of the Fusion with OT rolling. The Transcendence held on to Fixa, trying to get the next window online. Good little crouch there from MN3. Dodges the accretion. Keeps himself protected. Immortality Field now coming down, but try to keep him safe. The Transcendence does get used. Immortality Field's gone from both sides. Smurf going to fall. Window has been used. Creative takes MN3's head off, but is that going to be good enough? Because now it's just going to be Prophet Creative left to try to keep this thing contested. 2.6 meters left to go. Prophet will die, and that will be the card advancing forward. Another minute and a half added to the time bank. The Fusion, they win out in the final moments once more.
And they do wait till the final moments as well, right? Because 30 seconds remaining is when they finally get to go. MN3 gets that overclock in there, gets a couple of important frags. First one to Stalker is impeccable because Stalker has the overclock on the other side. So there's a world where Seoul Dynasty in that exact same fight could actually pop their own overclock. Get a reasonable fight going their way as well between Stalker and MN3. Anything can happen in that sort of stage, but MN3 takes out what is, in my opinion, the most important hero coming through. So the most important player on the Seoul Dynasty side. About a minute 30 is what they started C with. Not too sure if they can still finish the map here because, well, time certainly works against him. And Smurf is on his third flux now, so he's been able to get these pretty quickly.
Rail at the ready, Accretion not going to connect, throws the nade to try to zone Vinheim out. It has worked a treat. Zest with a nice stick, managing to finish him off. Brigitte on the headshot on the creative. The support's now out of the fight for the side of the Dynasty. Prophet just holding on to a pulse bomb, but otherwise, that's their last bastion of hope right now. No other ultimates even close to being completed here for the side of the Dynasty as the cart gets ready to round the final corner. He's completely locked in.
Oh, he's going to get taken down here. Yeah, he's on the high ground. He used the flux to go to the high ground there, tried to contest a little bit. Philadelphia Fusion have really pushed past that. So now you have to wait for this tank to come back for Seoul Dynasty. They run out of ultimates. The minefield could actually secure the cap for the Fusion now.
Yep, uses it right there. The main entryway to try to contest, trying to just lock them away. Vinheim swinging away, trying to clear out the mines as best as possible. Prophet going to be taken down. Stalker, however, manages to open things up as him and 3 will get sniped. Another rail at the ready, takes a quick slide away, trying to keep himself protected and look for one of these supports. He spots him. The shot through Aim God. He's looking for the elimination. He goes on the offensive, but Aim God shuts him down. A boot to the face. Stalker absolutely knocked out, stone cold. OT started to bleed away, however, though, as Belosria was taken down, and they can't quite make it to the cart in time, even with the Transcendence rolling. A little bit too late of a reaction, but overall, Fusion managing to break through, and they can make it right towards the end. But they cannot complete Midtown, which means the Dynasty have a win condition if they can have a successful attack.
89 is really good, though, I think, for the Philly Fusion, considering they went to OT to even get B. Minimal time to play through for C. They outplayed the third Sigma Flux coming through from Smurf, and this time it's mostly because of the fact that they had some geometry helping them. Seoul Dynasty weren't able to kind of dive in to collect the extra damage as well. The players got lifted up by the Flux weren't exactly in the open right. They were around the corner. Smurf then being caught out by himself on the high ground, had no support around him. He's only a Sigma in that position where he really needs to be playing with his team, but going for a little bit of a mission doesn't work out for him. Ends up being a pretty sad death, but being able to respawn of the Doom helps him secure that retake for the final defense pretty nicely. And we're talking about the mines as well. That could have been really good. It was reasonable, but Stalker pops down a disruptor shot, and that is going to delete most of the mines as well from the damage. So Seoul Dynasty come through in the final moments there to secure themselves, but considering, again, the time that Fusion had, it's a lot of meters gained, so I think you should be reasonably happy with that, despite how poor B actually looked.
Well, now change up on the looks here as Belosria shifts over to the Rhine, looking for that rush comp here. Zest on the May. See if Dynasty swap once they see what the comp is going to be looking like.
This is the comp that gave us our first Midtown incident from Fusion, I believe. Or was it Fury? No, this will be the second time. Fusion had Fury doing the whip grab the first time, and then there was the Belosria Ryan rush comp that didn't quite work out for the Fusion, but maybe defensively it can work out for them. You talk about the Dynasty, will they change? Here we go, yes. Prophet's already moved over. Yeah, here we go, Smurf will go Ryan here as well.
Okay.
Square up. Honorable Ryan duel.
You'd love to see it. Fairly even matchup. Biggest difference just going to be Stalker sticking through with that Sojourn. Not moving over to the Ash. So as far as range is concerned,
you can farm your railgun. You can farm your railgun off that Rhine shield very effectively. So that's a good choice.
Ooh, wall coming up, cutting off a couple people there. Kind of scattering the Dynasty. Mortality field not in position to try to save Prophet. Maybe the ice block is on cooldown or just didn't get the pop at a time. Either way, that is Belosria going absolutely massive. Fire strike through, clips on the 2. The Shadow now just 33% off. Fusion win the first fight. Dynasty have to go again.
And it's a massive advantage as well. Look at the ultimates on key members like Belosria 70 to 28 on Smurf. Zest on 44 to Prophet 16, as Prophet was the first one dead as well. Both of our bat players will be reasonably on par, with Aim God being about 10-ish% ahead. But very important in this mirror matchup to be the team that wins the initial neutral, because being able to snowball ultimates is a make or break in this mirror.
Once more, the wall kind of segregating the members of the Dynasty. Counter wall comes up from Prophet just to try to buy themselves some space as MN3 staring down the street is looking for a target. Immortality Field cleaned up window out first here from Aim God, now going to be matched by Creative, and these are not very far apart. Basically, trench warfare coming through. Beltry Shatter! The fire strike from Smurf takes him down before the Shatter can hit. He thought he had his window of opportunity, but he was just way too low. They cannot keep him alive, and in one fell swoop, that is going to be the lockdown coming through on the point for the side of the Dynasty. A massive bump up, 2.5 minutes getting ready to be added to the time bank.
And that's the sort of situation where you have to think, is fix it? Do I use the sound barrier or not? The lamp is already gone. Aim God's already used his most important tool to keep Bellasria alive, so the only thing left to do is, if Bellasria gets low, you're pretty much forced to use the sound barrier, and then you can win the fight with the Blizzard on top of that. You know you're ahead in both sound barrier and Blizzard because you won that initial fight. The only other people that could be kind of catching up to you is maybe Smurf getting a bit of damage on the Rhine, but Bellasria dying their mid-shatter was everything for the Philadelphia losing fight for Seoul Dynasty being up the cap. So let's see how B goes now.
Bit of a catastrophe there. Slate wiped clean as far as the Rhine ults are concerned. Benham taken down. Great opening kill from MN3. Once more the wall kind of locked him in. The Blizzard rolling as well, so as soon as Prophet comes out of that ice block, he is going to be in a rough spot. Completely slowed up. No peel, no support whatsoever available. Fusion will win the fight and halt the card off the rip.
Seoul Dynasty will retain ultimates here, though. They didn't really pop anything for that. Vindame dying early is maybe even a bit of a boon. Means that they don't have to pop the sound barrier to try and save themselves from the Blizzard. And a lot of this mirror matchup also comes down to the economic exchange, right? You're allowed to sack fights to get an ult advantage that you can then try and snowball some fights with. So Seoul Dynasty, it's their turn to set up a Blizzard now.
Okay, overclock at the ready. Sound barrier out from Vixa. Stalker zoned. Blizzard going to be rolling. Freezes the bomb. Freezes Zest. Immortality Field comes in late to try to keep him alive, and so far it has worked a treat. Wall up, just trying to cut off Bellasria, then either sightlines away from the supports, but it's going to be Prophet who ends up falling down. Vinheim taken down. Window used as well from Creative, but it's finding no value. Great Immortality Field timing at least to try to keep him alive, but it's just way too many members of Fusion encroaching around Smurf's position. They clean him up, and once more the fight is won here for the side of the Fusion.
Yeah, that might be the critical fight win for Fusion now, because they win against Dynasty when it's their turn to use ultimates and expend. Sound barrier is pretty reasonable, buys some time, but the most important thing that I saw there was Zest popping up the Mabel, which blocks out so much damage so they couldn't follow up on that Blizzard. Otherwise, a Blizzard probably would have been enough. Smurf still has Shatter here, but Bellasria is caught up, so this is going to come down to who blocks what with what shield available.
So here goes the Fire Strike, just going right over Bellasria's head. Shatters at the ready. The grand duel has begun. Oh, he tries to fake it. Doesn't manage to get the connection that he's looking for, but Pixel still gets on top of Prophet and somehow wins out that fight. Now Vinheim taken down once more. I feel like I'm having deja vu with these eliminations coming through. The Shatter going to be dropped. Smurf trying to turn it. Stalker's there. He plays off the back of it beautifully. Finds 4 kills in the fight. And now the cart can start moving. What a turnaround here as he looks for this last kill, and Stalker will get it. The ace at the end. Off the back of the Shatter. What a play. What a combo.
And that's what I'm talking about, right? The Shatter is everything, and a read coming through from the Seoul Dynasty. Smurf going for heroics here. That's a high-risk, high-reward play, because if it blows up in your face, if Smurf doesn't land the Shatter, if he dies, like Bellasria died with the Shatter, then it could have been over. Seoul Dynasty would have been a really sore spot. They're down one of their most important members now, Stalker. Down Creative as well.
Freeze is coming through, but as soon as they come right back out of the spawn room, regroup as 5. The kills are there for the Fusion. Now it's going to be a minute remaining here for the Dynasty, who seemingly have to replicate what the Fusion were able to do and potentially close out this street space with an overtime push.
And they need to snowball here somehow as well, which is difficult to do considering Fusion have a lot of ultimates. This is potentially, you know, a great read from the Fusion to start out on the Rhine, bait Seoul Dynasty into the Rhine play, where Fusion, honestly, their brawl has been pretty solid, especially in the neutrals. Okay, Smurf has outplayed Bellasria, but the rest of the Fusion, in terms of finding opening picks, getting greater damage, more placements by Zest and everything, they win in all other areas aside from the actual Rhine-up.
Wall, just getting them escorted out here onto the high ground. The drop down comes through from the Fusion. They pull back. 4, nearly 5 ults at the ready as Fixa gets closer and closer to that sound barrier. Charge for charge. The Rhines hit the floor. The Blizzard going to be used by Prophet and Zest, completely encompassing the map right now. Looking for those freezes. The cart Needs to be touched. The contest is there. They will be able to force out the OT, but it's going to be Creative who goes down first. Fixa, however, traded out the Shatter. Dropped in. Gets the stun out onto Vinheim, onto Smurf.
has Shatter.
He's shielding, trying to keep him alive. And Smurf, he's going to die. He's not going to be able to use the Shatter. Aim God cleans up 3 kills. He's doing his best shoe impersonation right now, and it looks absolutely spot on. Creative will not be able to get back in time. The OT will bleed away, and the Fusion not going to be going down without a fight. Not going to have yet another Midtown incident. And that will be them breaking the map loss streak and tying things up 1-1.
It seems like the Midtown incident goes the other way. This time it's the sole Midtown incident, right? They have a pretty reasonable go on their own defense. Well, I say reasonable, it did end up going quite a fair distance. You have to imagine a world where maybe Seoul Dynasty could have held B. Would that have made a difference? So, technically speaking, once we saw the Rhine duels come out and the Brawl matchup come out, Fusion held B to the point where Seoul Dynasty weren't in a position to cap anyway. So Fusion, I think both on attack and defense, won that pretty resoundingly. But again, going back to the kind of narrative of, okay, they want to play this rush, Seoul Dynasty want to square up, but the Philadelphia Fusion, again, outside of Bellisria and Smurf, where I do think Smurf outplayed Bellisria, the other 4 members were just that much better in playing the overall Brawl composition against the other 4 members of the Seoul Dynasty. Fixa coming up with first bloods, like how is he doing a little Lucio? All of these small differences really come out ahead, even if Bellisri is losing to Smurf.
Yeah, I mean, you feel like Fixa being able to take down Prophet while he's on the Mei should basically be nigh impossible for a Lucio to pull off, but he did it on the regular. Absolutely great play here from the side of the Fusion to keep things tied up. We said that they were looking competitive in the first map. That carries forward. Now they have some wind in their sails, but you can see Fit's going to be rejoining right now. Still wide smiles from Smurf, from this team, so it doesn't seem like they're going to be overly concerned. We'll see what happens, though, as we get ready to move into Circuit Royale for our escort map. See who is going to be moving up to match point. Don't go anywhere. And we are back, and oh boy, it's our favorite thing to say as commentators. We have a series on our hands, tied up 1-1. The rush from Fusion there on the defense coming to fruition, playing out beautifully as they go ahead and get the win on Midtown. Now we look over to Circuit Royale to see who's going to be able to move things up to match point. Fusion, is it finally time? They've broken the map loss streak. Can they break the match loss streak versus the Dynasty here this season?
Yeah, that was impressive. I'm really impressed with the way the Fusion came through on that on the Midtown map. But as we move through to Circuit Royale, we're going to see some substitutions come on in. It's a very sniper-heavy map, so Fitz is going to come back in to play the Widowmaker. Fury coming in for Bellasria to play the Sigma as well. Smurf obviously going to be matching that Sigma on the other side. And like for this one, should be expecting Carpe as well to come in for Zest. So double snipers online, MN3 and Carpe as teased in our opening hype video. Carpe and Prophet squaring up. Yeah, they'll certainly be doing plenty of that. But some work, I think, required from the Seoul Dynasty on their Broad Mirror against Smurf. I have no doubt about he is a two-time Overwatch League champion. He won during the GOAT era as well, so he's locked up. I'm confident he knows what he's doing, but looking at the rest of Seoul Dynasty, I don't know if Stalker was prepared to play in that composition. I mean, to be fair, a lot of the NA teams, when they are playing the Brawl composition, they're kind of just sticking one of their players on the Sojin anyway, as expected. But to really win that matchup, I don't know if there could have been a Symmetra swap coming through as well that could have really helped them. Some other picks that could have helped them out as well. For Seoul Dynasty, Prophet didn't look nearly as good as Zest on the Mei, so, you know, I had some criticism about Prophet's Mei last year as well. Seems like it's just not one of the heroes that Seoul Dynasty, and not one of the compositions that Seoul Dynasty have had a ton of practice on. Outside of the Smurf Ryan itself, so some work still needed there, but Fusion, good stuff on the Ryan. And honestly, well, I was going to say they could still bring out the Ryan in future maps. This is a map that Ryan is an okay hero on, but I think the meta is definitely more geared towards playing the Sigma shield plus double flex support plus double sniper kind of gameplay that we're about to see.
Well, as aforementioned, Carpet back through, he'll be picking up the Sojourn. MN3 on the Widowmaker. Expecting to see that end up getting mirrored here from the Dynasty. Mirrored is in, you know, the compositions, not the player who had a rough go of it on the Genji earlier. No Genjis.
Did he play it on this map?
Yes.
Okay.
And he got
no
bombed.
Jinmu level heroics then. Yeah, okay. Well, to be fair to them, it's not a very easy hero to play on this map. Unless you're Jinmu, of course, who somehow just makes it work. He, of course, likes to do what is, for him, a very legal maneuver to go over the wall. It's illegal if you place a teleporter and Mei wall up there, but for a Genji, you just go over it normally. That's a different story, and so it's a different game, an old game, though. One I'm sure that Fusion would like to forget, because that was also Chengdu versus Fusion. Now, though, Prophet Hanzo, Carpe coming through onto the Sojin. We actually saw some of this yesterday. Between, I forget now which two teams played this exact map, but it was, you know, the double Widowmaker versus a Hanzo and a Sojin. So if you want a shield break, Prophet's on the right here, but Carpe can charge rails quite easily off the shields.
And he can. Prophet can knock him down pretty quickly as well with the Storm Arrows. So for now, first corner widely going to be conceded from the side of the Fusion. This is where they really want to stomp up the advance, and what a great shot. Prophet already tagged down low, didn't need to hit him in the head. MN3 finding the opening kill is Fitz will answer back. Good little headshot from him, mid-grapple as well. And that added pickoff coming through, that does allow for Smurf to actually exit and stay alive, wrapping back around the corner. So yeah, creative, profiting quite a bit from that. Just going to be soaking up all that healing to try to get the Transcendence ready to go.
And Prophet is back now as well, whereas we're still kind of waiting for MN3, who should be making some headway back over towards this A point. And Fitz bailing out Smurf, like you sort of mentioned there. Smurf could have actually died. The lamp already came on through to save them. Low HP. The Fusion couldn't push in without their fifth member. Here comes that window as well. Fury being bailed out by his own Immortality Field. Flux in the win.
Oh, Flux for Flux. You know, one person catch for a two-person catch. They smack back down to the ground, but it's going to be Fury and now Smurf who gets traded. So, a 1-for-1 as the front line does end up falling. Good recon arrow here, spotting them around the corner, and Prophet, oh, he wants to try to get the timing. Narrowly misses it. Now they know that he's playing right up close and personal. Carpe challenging there for just a moment. Storm Arrow's just trying to catch him off guard.
Smurf is closer, so he should be able to return to the point ever so slightly quicker. Fury It's going to have to jump down from the top. Okay, they'll actually manage to get there at reasonably around the same time as, you know, with the payload pushed up far enough. I guess it's okay for Fury. So no team ends up getting too much of an advantage, even though, you know, I think if the payload was further back, then certainly Smurf will get there quicker. So Infrasight for Infrasight here. Bigger difference maker could actually be the Dragon Strike. That will force Fusion off the payload, and that could be a cap. Fitz is dead.
Wait a minute, what? 2 great shots from MN3. He gets a third. He's looking for some more. Immortality Field buys a little bit of time, but what an absolute incredible volley from MN3, shutting them down one after the other.
I want you to say headshot after headshot after headshot.
After headshot. I've had to watch that clip so many times when reviewing the highlights, so
I was trying to cosplay Josh there. I wanted you to cosplay. Anyway, Carpe down a Prophet. That was great, though. That was
unbelievable.
An incredibly sexy play. That gets me going for sure. Good job, Eamon.
Oh,
well done.
Yeah, that's one way to get the blood flowing, get yourself jazzed up. Incredible shots from him. Now 45 seconds remaining on this push, just in front of point A, but haven't really been able to breach this position. Prophet down to 8 HP. He got dead though. Doesn't use the Transcendence to try to stay alive. Fitz the pop shot will find MN3, putting his reign of terror to an end. The cleanup comes through, and that will be the cap. 3 minutes now in the time bank for the Dynasty to try to make it through to checkpoint B. A little bit of a split spawn here from Aim God, and they're well aware of this, is why they're going on the hunt, trying to find the enemies Zenyatta.
Oh, they see him. Yeah, they see him for sure. This is going to be a kill. Poor Aim God doesn't know it's about to hit him. He's going to transfer it. Can he make it out, though? This could be very well a waste of trans. Gets slightly body block. He values staying alive here over keeping the trans. So, you know, you're about to ask the question, is it worth it?
Yeah. Maybe now it is, because he does take down Smurf. I was going to say, they need to try to have something to counteract the Flux. The Immortality Field can be cleared, but they do get that elimination. But Fitz and Prophet take down, they take down the enemy DPS. So in the end, it's a massive trade up here for the side of the Dynasty.
I'm going to be real. If Aim God just dies there and respawns, they can still get the same final recontest they're about to get here now. What ends up being a trance is kind of still a lost fight. Maybe I'm being a little revisionist about it because it was a 2-for-1 trade. Credit to Fitz for finding one of those kills. Flux is coming on through now, and this is where, you know, when Smurf does it, you kind of wish that Aim God had something for it.
Creative dead. Another great headshot there from MN3 as the overclock is rolling. He's trying to flush Smurf out of this position, but Prophet combos in with the left click out from Smurf. They find the elimination, taking down Carpe. Flux gets Fitz. Double pickup, drops him down. Immortality Field is there. Perfectly timed by Fixa. Keeps them alive. The support duo still in the fight. Smurf chunked out, dead. Prophet eliminated. Little pop shot. He's looking for Venheim. He goes up into the sky, but Aim God is there to go ahead and finish off the enemy Baptiste. Now 1 minute and 25 seconds remaining for the Dynasty.
You know, well, this feels a lot better now for the Fusion as they've been able to stabilize quite comfortably on the final approach on the B cap itself. MN3 is playing wonderfully on this Widowmaker. It really has been quite something to behold so far. The headshot straight away onto Smurf when his kinetic grasp, kind of goes away there, just puts him into the grave. He might not get the final blow, but his damage is definitely being felt. Definitely stat-wise as well, outperforming Fitz by quite a fair margin.
Recon arrow flying forward. Not going to be locating too much, but Prophet does end up getting a headshot on the Carpe all the same. Yeah, a big pickoff now. They look for a little bit more. Smurf at the front lines, healing coming through. Venheim just keeping him topped up as best as humanly possible. And Fitz will find an opening kill. That's going to be now the Immortality Field taken out of the fight. Aim God, Transcendence nearly online. MN3 buys a little bit more space for them as the Widow falls. And Aim God being forced back. Chunked down to half HP. MN3 gets rid of the Immortality Field. And they say, okay, pull the trigger. The ult comes out, but Prophet gets rid of the enemy Widow once more. Carpe sliding forward. The Dragon Strike now going to go crashing through, cutting off any reinforcements. So the cart does make it into the checkpoint. With a couple melee hits, 2 more kills come in. The Dynasty get another minute and a half added to the time bank just moments before they were going to hit OT.
Yeah, Prophet getting the final kill to Carpe there as well. There you go. That's the theme coming on through. The Prophet versus Carpe matchup that was teased up. And Old Reliable is the horse that Soul Dynasty will be riding through on towards that B capture point as well. Prophet getting the initial pick on the Carpe via the arrows, enabling the 5v4. Fitz then also getting one of the supports down, turning to a 5 vs 3. Puts a lot of pressure on the Fusion, who unfortunately could not respond. So with just under 1 minute 30 remaining here, the Soul Dynasty can still make a reasonable amount of distance. Can they cap, though, will be a bigger question. They have a lot of ultimates to play through, but if they lose even one fight here, their cap is probably done.
Arrow miss on that accretion. window going to be used. MN3 in the meantime does find that kill on a Prophet, but it will be traded quickly thereafter as Vinheim finishes off the Immortality Field, gets fixed, and the Flux is good to go. It's the cleanup. Fury gone. The cart starting to be advanced once more here for the side of the Dynasty as they hit 40 seconds remaining. Smurf just continuing to push forward. The Accretion does get the stun. Don't have anybody to play off the back of it, though, so they cannot get rid of that Widow.
MGOT is currently stuck in spawn. It depends on whether Soul Dynasty want to push this a little bit further or not.
They're backing off.
Be careful, though, because MN3 has the damage. He has the angles to work through. Like I said, they backed off already. Soul Dynasty now still have about 2 to 3 ultimates coming online. They desperately need the Dragon Strike, but they can't survive. MN3 is far too sharp today.
Absolutely just domes Smurf.
Smurf has to come back up,
coming through as Fury now just duking it out. He's got everybody locked in a room. The Transcendence has to be used by Creative. The cart right now rolling backward. The touch is there to force out the OT. Flux now going to be used. Picks them up, drops them back down. The Immortality Field cleared out. Someone needs to touch. It's going to be Smurf. He does arrive in time, but quickly thereafter does fall. Nice overclock from Carpe, cleans up the final kills in the fight, and once more, looking a bit like Midtown, the cart will get just to the end, but it cannot get over that finish line.
Well, that being said, though, I mean, Soul Dynasty didn't have a lot of time to work through on C, so that's a good amount of distance. And like you said, very reminiscent of Midtown, but that ended up working into Fusion's favor. And I'm going to say here that for Soul, having basically only OT time to work with for C to get it to the end, pretty impressive. They won a very nice fight during the near the pool area. Flux for Flux, kind of, well, window for window, certainly coming on through. And I believe it was even a amplified accretion. I mean, that's a rock that would definitely hurt when it flies into your face. So Soul Dynasty did a good job of winning an important fight to get towards the end, but camping is a different story. You need to be able to win a secondary fight. And as I mentioned, MN3, especially with that Infrasight, his damage has been unreal. His final blows, I mean, let's talk about it here. 12 final blows out of a total of 21 final blows for the Philadelphia Fusion, so already deadlifting. That is, by the way, compared to a Fitz final blows of 4, so he's got 4 times the amount of final blows as Fitz so far, and about 2,300 more damage done than Fitz as well.
That's pretty one-sided, as all things go. Yeah, MN3, just looking impeccable at the moment.
Dia wasn't kidding. Dia wasn't kidding when he said that MN3 was the best Widow. He really just, he's like, you know what, it's MN3.
It's certainly being proven right now. Lip getting back into form, though, maybe able to give him a little bit of a run for his money. We'll have to just wait and see, though. MN3 trying to see if that pop shot's going to be coming through from Fitz. He sat way back for a shot of his own. Up over the top. Everybody rotating out. The barrier's there to keep him protected.
You have a very defensive kind of positioning here for Soul. I mean, as you'd expect, but they are just going to play this first corner. You know, most teams aren't going to be baited into playing that initial high ground archway anymore. More of a quick play kind of thing coming on through. So both these corners are the ideal defensive positions. As Prophet knows he was under 5 from the Widowmaker there, so he's able to just hide behind the statue. And Soul Dynasty, so far looking okay in this position. We're waiting for first picks though, so one of the 2 Widowmakers, I believe, should be able to start us off. Or Baby Prophet.
Trying to flush him out behind the statue. He's actually just going to be eating some of that damage there from the nade, but MN3 gets him in the head, opening things once more. Fitz answering back in kind, though. Finds that 5th final blow, as you were mentioning before. It's going to be Carpe taken out. MN3 again. He's got his carry pants on this map, it would seem. He gets Fitz. It's another fantastic shot. He's looking for more. The barrier going to be broken down. Immortality Field used. The damage is being pummeled into them. Fixer will find 2 to match, and it is such a quick push as MN3 is absolutely destroying them.
Well, I told you, right? He has 4 times the amount of kills as Fitz, so Fitz gets 1. And then MN3's like, I'm going to get like 4. See how that goes. So Fitz will take him down. He's at least going to get 1 back in terms of that Widow duel, but this is, outside of that 1 death, a monumental Widowmaker death.
I think he's only killed him twice. He killed him once on the initial attack, and then here. It's just wonderful from MN3. Fitz expecting this jump shot to be coming through, but there it is. Doesn't get him in the head, however. He tags him in the chest. MN3 able to stay alive. Fixer just now respawning. Grant's going to be used. Big Fury alive here on the cart. Turn around their fortunes. Fury does hold on to it. Smurf not that far away. Just get tagged down to about half HP.
There's no transfer, remember, so Smurf can get this for free as long as he doesn't get rocked mid-cast or, you know, unless MN3 just kills him. should be pretty clean. Yeah, Fury goes first.
Flux is there. Immortality Field used on Prophet. The pickup comes through. Finds Fixa, drops him down. Immortality Field used. So Flux from either side. Neither finding any eliminations. Creative, the Transcendence nearly online. Fitz eliminated. Carpe with a great headshot. Open things up. They're trying to shove them back, however, as the window does come through. That will hold them at bay, at least for the moment, but they're just going to be more than willing to wait this out. The time bank is still so massive for the side of the Fusion, so they can play this out patiently.
Okay,
now the answering window comes in. The overclock nearly ready. Dragon Strike once more to try to buy some space. Splits it apart. A couple members on the opposite side of the teams, and the rail comes
nice.
in. Benheim tagged low. The finish is there from Carpe. Looks for another target. Gets under fire, falls low, but helps take down Smurf, helps take down Prophet. Carpe just continuing to play the supporting role, picking up these assists. God will find the last two in the fight, and it is 4 minutes and 45 here for the Fusion. An absolutely monstrous time bank. You gave credit for how far the Dynasty went with the little time that they did have. There's so much time here for the Fusion to play around with.
Yeah, it's insane. So, they're going to get a pretty good time bank here. Well, actually, it won't matter because if they cap, they win, right? So forget about time bank. They do have to push to the end. That is one thing. I was going to mention for Carpe there as well. Took him, just over half the map to get warmed up, but his presence is now being felt. The overclock comes on through. It's initial pick off the rail here as well. Here we go, meeting on the outskirts of the map. Very dangerous on this coast side. But pool control is paramount for both the defensive and attacking teams. One player from the Seoul Dynasty is still pushing. I think that might be MN3 it is, yeah. Somebody has to remain pushing at all times if possible.
He's inching it forward as much as possible, and they've already closed out half of the distance here because of it, because of this coast side contest. Everybody just chilling by the pool. The race car is making it closer and closer to the finish line.
The pool is like 2 inches deep, by the way, which I find hilarious.
Yeah, it's just one of those ankle pools that rich people like to hang out in for whatever reason. I'm too wealthy to get my torso wet, so I'll just dip my feet. Smurf under some pressure, dodges out of the accretions. Yep, barrier coming through once more. So try to successfully back away.
Okay, Furious Flux.
He's going to use it too. He's looking for a target. Okay, finally.
Oh, that'll be an easy pickup, surely.
The accretion not going to connect. Fitz does manage to find him. God, that's going to be the Transcendence out of the fight for the extended frame, but Creative under pressure. Tries to boot the Sigma out of there, but he's just not going to be able to make it happen. Fury, no barrier at the ready. Can't get it in time. Benheim will finish him off. The front line broken down. Fitz,
that's
quick
good.
Peek. Finds Carpe. That's going to be space bought now for the Dynasty. Just under 3 minutes remaining for the Fusion.
Woo! Okay, an exit frag as well. Okay, here we go. Fitz is starting to warm up a little bit now. It is while Philadelphia Fusion are exiting, but he'll get a couple of frags. It's good staggers nonetheless, if nothing else. So I actually got to mention for the Philly Fusion, had, maybe Carpe still been alive there, Aim God still has trance, maybe they can think about playing that with the tempo trance advantage, but, they'll play the patient game again. No need to rush this one. Even if it takes until the OT, if you win the map, if you push to the end, it's all worth it. So holding the trance to counter up Smurf's Flux, which is upcoming now, got to be pretty important. Window is available. Prophet should just counter that with Dragon's Strike. No, he's going to go early. Dragon's already out. That, I don't know if I like that Dragon.
Yeah, didn't really do too much for him. They used it early. See if he's going to be able to build another one, but now Fitz going to be taken down. Carpe once more, finding an opening kill. The overclock going to be popped. He's looking for a target. Sees Prophet. Throws the nade. Make sure that left side flank is going to be covered, but actually the nade went a little bit too deep. Benheim, however, still going to fall. The Transcendence comes in a little bit late there from Creative, just keeping the rest of the squad alive as best as possible. Fitz rejoining, but Smurf taken down. Prophet going lower and lower. The deflect from MN3 finds Fitz. The cleanup is there, and they have the push. The Fusion, they take the lead. 2 maps in a row now, Midtown into Circuit Royale. They're just one away from finally besting the Seoul Dynasty here in the 2022 season.
I mean, such a great performance from the Philadelphia Fusion. First of all, we had the Midtown map coming on through. Then we look to, but even then, I mean, we look at Philadelphia Fusion towards the end there. Carpe, who was mostly quiet, started to pipe up a little bit on that Sojourn, especially when MN3 swaps over towards the Genji instead. You're probably wondering, okay, why would he swap from the Widow to the Genji? Well, for the final point, there's very little to push left. You want to have some high ground, low ground, some dive capability as well. Zest is not here, so MN3 will take up those reins instead. And they just kind of want to shove the payload in and want to make a sight lines attacking as well, as starts to get a little bit poor for MN3, so he'll make the swap over. But yeah, Fury as well coming through big time, as he had a lot of work to do in those final fights, and did plenty of it. Philadelphia Fusion, I think M3, talk of the town for that particular map, for sure. But the rest of the team coming up big to make sure they finish.
Yeah, I mean, once more, I'm enjoying the decision to swap there from MN3. It's, I believe, the second time that he showed us now the Genji coming through in these clutch moments, right when the card on an escort map needs to get across the finish line when they are running out of time. The fights are continuing to be close, and once more, he comes up with kills and helps them finish the map. Beautifully done from the Fusion, the Dynasty. We haven't seen them get pushed this hard since the lower bracket final versus the Shanghai Dragons. The Fusion now threatening the series win. Match point is theirs, and if they can close out New Queen Street, they will be victorious. We'll see what happens, see whether or not the Dynasty are going to be able to answer back and take this into a map 5 when we return from the break. Don't go anywhere. And we are back and going into what could very well be the final map of this series. unless Dynasty have something to say about it. They need to get a win now as we go into our push map, New Queen Street, if they want to extend this into a 5-map series and walk away victorious, maintain their win record here in 2022 versus the Fusion. Otherwise, Fusion are looking absolutely out of control right now. MN3 is completely unhinged. He's off the chain. He's dominating with the Widowmaker. Changing things up, though, going to New Queen Street. Likely going to be seeing him go back over to the Ash, where he still has found an immense amount of value on that pickup. So we'll see what the Dynasty can do to deal with it.
I bet that first sentence for you was a little bit weird to say. Like, oh yeah, Seoul Dynasty, let's see if they can bounce back here.
Yep.
On the ropes here, a little old Seoul Dynasty. Oh, what are they going to do? They have now dropped 2 maps to the Philadelphia Fusion. I don't think it's out of this world. I think most people would have said that Seoul Dynasty looked like the stronger team coming into this matchup. They've been flawless throughout the entire midseason qualifiers. They've been 5-0, looking for the 6-0 perfect scoreline here, perfect stage here going to the actual tournament itself. The Fusion are putting up more than a fight. We'll talk about the substitutions just a hot second here. Concerning Seoul, though, my goodness. Dropping 2 maps already. This is looking super competitive. I think this is more speaking to the strengths of Fusion than anything else, because a lot of, maybe some pundits out there will look at this and say, oh man, what's happening to Seoul? Are they worse now? Did they, are they playing worse than they normally would? I think Seoul is still good. It's just that Fusion have really come out firing on multiple cylinders, and we saw that throughout the Ryan Brawl composition. That was something that Seoul were not prepared for. So shout outs to Jin on, from the coaching staff for Fusion setting that play up. But then you have one of the hardest carries from a Widowmaker that it really just reminds me of like Arns from 2020. I'm sure Smurf.
Arns, Pine from 2018.
He would have had, but back then it was Arns on his team. He wasn't playing against him, so it's a different story indeed. Fusion, though, can they clean this up, or are we going to 5?
We shall see. Fitz back in, over to the Ash. Prophet back onto the Tracer. So just going to be nearly mirrored matchups. The only difference being Bellisry on the ball. Smurf back onto the Doomfist.
We expected the ball to maybe come back here as well. Bellisry, this is his map. Not going to be playing much Sigma here. Fitz taking a bunch of damage straight up.
And he's dead. They get the alley-oop. MN3 able to find the head. Let's take him out. Dynamite not at the ready, otherwise he's trying to flush these guys out from the back of the...
Dude. It's like we never left Circuit Royale. We're still there. We're still on Circuit Royale. We haven't left.
This man is absolutely insane today. What a god screener is going on? Why did they beat him today? Is this the work of the cheesesteaks? I know they took him to the cheesesteak place recently. Is this the secret formula?
Oh my god, take him back! Send him straight back to the cheesesteak place that you actually introduced him. So well done, Akira. This is you. You enabled MN3 to finally eat good, and now he's fragging harder than he's ever fragged in his life.
He's got so many carbs and calories in his body. He's
it doesn't end. It doesn't end.
And he's got Smurf as well. The Dynamite for the finisher, and the push continues with relative ease. They're looking for the dive into the back line, but you can see Fixa just sat there, pocketing him. And why would you do anything else if you are a support on the Fusion right now? MN3, he is your golden goose. You keep this man alive, or you suffer the consequences.
I mean, the Fusion, if they are about to win a series off a single man alone, that's going to be wild. We'll see if Seoul Dynasty can do anything about this situation. They would love to die on M, but the damage up from MN3 certainly being felt across the board. Bob will be coming online in short manner. Nano's available. Got to be putting that one to somebody like Smurf to get him to the back line.
Bot halted up once more. There's the Nano. Gets the dive in nicely onto Fixa. Looks for Aim God, but get tagged up a bit. Now has a little bit more leeway to work with as MN3 does fall. Fitz opening things up. Nice kill for him, and Zest gone as well. So some additional staggers found here for the side of the Dynasty. They can finally get their own push underway. 46 meters, the distance to beat so far.
That's a good recovery there from Seoul Dynasty, and definitely in terms of Fitz as well. Making sure that he's still active, getting some frags in. This is where you can start forcing ultimates out of the Philadelphia Fusion here, as they'll be more than likely using something like a Bob to make sure the payload doesn't go over. Not quite close enough for a capture just yet. There's still plenty of opportunity for Philly to set up a fight, and they can even look for flanks here if they want.
Pulse bombs at the ready. Prophet throws it, not going to find the kills. That's kind of just hopping over top of it there. As Fitz is dead again, MN3 getting the quick snap. Pushes for Flame, goes into the unscoped kill shot. Unbelievable tech from him. He's just playing this 2-T. The dash forward, I thought he was actually just going to dome Prophet right there for a moment, but
I thought as well.
He scopes in, unscopes, kills him, all the same.
This is why we're playing Ashe. Sojin can't do this. You cannot do this on Sojin. That's why everyone's playing Ashe. I mean, the consistency of damage. Sure, you're not going to one-shot everybody every single time, but the amount of damage you can do on those scoped-in shots is unreal if you can actually land a lot of them. And MN3 is landing more than a lot of them. Here comes that Bob finally. It's going to be matched by Fitz.
The dive in from Smurf instantly takes his exit. The Bob going to be cleared up, taken away from Fitz, who has already been felled. Smurf gone as well. Tame will put an end to it for just a moment. Gets an elimination, but yeah, the cap is there. The checkpoint achieved. And given the staggers, they don't have to pull away from this position.
Dude,
they can continue to play around the
bot.
bot.
Look at the swaps. Look at the swaps. Soul is just like, you know what, the Doom isn't working. Fitz is like, I can't do this, guys. M3's too good today. Let me go over towards a Sombra. At this rate, if you're playing a Sombra, I don't want to count it out, but I've still yet to really see Sombra have maximum value versus anything. This is, to me, kind of like just waving the white flag here.
It's certainly starting to feel that way. Prophet going lower and lower. Pulse bomb out from the chest.
That's
Hits
insane.
the enemy Tracer. Absolutely incredible. I mean, the hack here, I mean, it's truly, it feels like desperation now with Fitz going back over to the Sombra. Don't often see this when they are, you know, unless they're not in an advantageous position, which they certainly are not.
So many things I would rather see than the Sombra right now. I think it seems like a lack of confidence. Like, okay, M3 is just definitely extremely hard on the Ashe and whatever, just about everything at this stage. They killed MN3 in the prior fight, which gives Seoul Dynasty the opportunity to push backwards, but they're not really able to get that much control. And I mean, what can you do as Fitstone? You die. Prophet gets a nano. Okay, let's go, Prophet.
Okay, Prophet does get the pulse bomb, and it's a key target. Finds MN3. Can't keep him alive through that one. Goes down, but the bot again is just being locked on this side of the map. Belisria trying to get healed up, but Orb of Harmony not going to be doing nearly enough to keep him alive, so Prophet will find that elimination of the end. He's looking for Fixa. Pops the recall, keeps himself safe, but as he rounds the corner, MN3 takes his head off. He's not playing Widow. He doesn't have Infrasight anymore, but he's still managing to just get these predictive hits. And instantly, the support did off the backside. Fusion are just winning out in every metric right now.
MN3 has single-handedly more final blows than the entire Seoul Dynasty, 9-8. This guy really is wrecking face on an unbelievable level. And he is making a statement to his haters, because there are people that say, like, oh, MN3, overrated, not very good, but he's been unreal. Okay, he's probably going to die here, but they got the trance, like you said.
Yep, get the transcendence, they still maintain the lead. The bot just now getting ready to be shipped back across the opposite side of the map. Prophet inching that forward there for just a moment, turns the sights over to Aim God. Fitz is there. Will manage to find the elimination at the end of it. Belisria just continuing to play a bit forward, trying to keep the bot locked in position, but can't overstay his welcome. Has to roll out of there, but they still have such a stark lead right now.
Okay, this is where Seoul can catch up. 4 ultimates about to be online, including the Nano. Fitz just got a double kill onto the back line, the double supports of the Philadelphia Fusion. EMP can be set up here for something good. MN3 already low. First target down. That's important. You need MN3 down.
Yeah, just throw everything at MN3 right now is basically the game plan for Seoul Dynasty. That's the only thing that they have written on in the playbook is kill the enemy Ashe. I'll drive it down and look for the kill on this S. Can't quite make it happen. Stick into the back line though. Prophet finding Aim God. Opens up a good amount of space. Now the bot continuing to push forward. Checkpoint definitely achievable here for the side of the Dynasty, but of course the bot then take his break. But speaking of bots, a little bit of a botch on the throw out, it seems. Bob just going to be sitting here on the high ground, so he's not contesting. Belisria does have to play forward, and Bob doesn't have the greatest sightlines in the world at the moment, but they have stopped Dynasty from pushing forward, at least for the time being. Nano out, look for the dive into the back line. MN3 knocked down about half HP, but the dynamite is in, and MN3, he kills Prophet all the same. The Nano be damned, he doesn't care. The damage is just too good.
That's even with the whip Bob as well, I was going to say. I mean, Seoul Dynasty are definitely not going to get this for free. Fusion should contest with a Bob if nothing else. But I do believe Seoul managed to cap, so Silver Lining is still pretty big here. As we'll remember from the Washington Titans game, getting that cap means that the second time you go around, the bot is not going to stall. So that alone is worth that cap and nothing else. So Philadelphia Fusion, 2 minutes left to go for a defensive game, and a 2 meter separating them. MN3 gets a nano. I mean, why the hell not?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, just give everything to this guy because he's got to do things like that. Quick scope in, gets the headshot. Vinham taken out of the fight. Delaying the Transcendence. He finds Fitz as well, who just tries to run into the back line. And M3, he's going absolutely nuclear. There's nothing, absolutely nothing that the Dynasty can do.
Yeah, Rostam launching nukes. He opened the briefcase. He's got the launch codes. He's got the launch codes. They turned the keys in the submarine, and MN3 is in the skies. Like an ICBM straight on top of the Assault Dynasty. This is insane, MN3. I haven't ever seen them. I cast this guy for full year contenders. Have never seen this guy play this good before.
It's just utterly incredible to witness.
Aguas, enemy here.
They're still now so very close to making this work. MN3 going to be taken out.
They're only going for MN3 because they have to.
Yeah, the Transcendence comes in, keeps everybody else alive. Providence Murph now going to be taken down. Fixa hacked, antied out. They will get that elimination at the very end, but MN3 has respawned. He's on his way back. The pulse bomb down to the floor. Not going to find the stick. Zest taken out. Vinham, a nice headshot at the chest. Follow up, does get that kill. Now Bob going to be charging through into the back, but MN3 left out the dry, ends up going down. Bot being shipped over as quickly as they possibly can make it happen here now. As the cleanups come in, Belisria just continuing to contest. Will finally die, and the bot can start moving once more for the Dynasty.
Okay, mines are available though, so that could be a little bit tricky. It's actually available on both sides, and there's no good way to clear these mines. Certainly no EMP to do the job for you. 65 meters now on board for the Fusion, so more work to be done for the Dynasty, but again, the Dynasty do not have to wait for the bot to be staggered on their checkpoint itself. They're about one fight away from maybe competing for the 65. This is gonna be an OT where the Seoul Dynasty have to play pretty perfectly for at least one fight.
All right, it's pushing right now. 5 meters left to go. The contest going to have to come through. And
no,
that's going to be taken
huge.
down. Now they get back over to the bot. 5 seconds now remaining. Dynamite through. Fitz translocates away. He keeps himself alive. The Nano at the ready here from Creative. Bot held. OT. Ticking away, the Nano goes out onto Prophet. He dives into the back line. He's looking for MN3 once more, but has to use the recall. He repositions. Creative going to be eliminated. Belisria traded out. The front line broken down. The pulse bomb going to be thrown onto the floor. It doesn't find an elimination, but they will manage to get MN3 in the very end. But
2v3
is going to be there. 2v3, as you say. It's still the Fusion managing to win out. Zest still alive, still holds onto the pulse. Swap over onto the Doomfist. Smurf taken down as soon as he rejoins. The pulse bomb goes out. It will not find a kill. God nanoed up, and there you go. It bleeds away so very rapidly, and the Fusion have made it happen. MN3 has made it happen. They will finally take down the Dynasty here in the 2022 season. Long have they waited. MN3 activated. This guy, give him the player of the match right now. It doesn't need to be discussed. It is a clear-cut decision. I'm making the call. Hand it to him right now. Anything else would be highway robbery.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about so many of the good rookies so far. We talked about how good everyone else is. Zest has been kind of the prime carry on this team for the longest time, but it's time for everybody else to move on over. It's time for MN3 to enter that conversation for real. He's been working up for this moment for quite some time now. Just look at how much of an individual carry performance completely shifted the Seoul Dynasty, made them swap off the Doom, Fitz swapping off his own Ashe, Prophet basically only going for MN3. Every pulse has MN3's number on him, but not every single pulse is going to land. But Prophet only wants to kill MN3 because they know that's the target. That's the guy that has to go down.
That's the win condition.
And I said, how wild would it be if one person carried you to victory against the Seoul Dynasty here? That's exactly what happened. I mean, I don't want to disregard the rest of the team because even towards that final fight there, MN3 dies, but the rest of them are still kind of working it through. MN3 goes to Genji on attacking C for Circuit Royale. The rest of the team still has to push on through, so everyone else is still there. But MN3 is going to get you to the location first so that the rest of the team can prosper. I haven't seen a carry performance like that out of one player. Again, since like Arns in 2020.
Yeah.
That was
this whole season.
unbelievable.
Absolutely incredible. I mean, honestly, I think the closest thing would be like Prophet on the one map of Ilios versus the Shanghai Dragons to help them get that victory. You know, that clutch moment where he goes in, basically kills everybody by himself. But this was MN3 across multiple maps, finding such an incredible amount of value. I haven't seen a performance like this from an individual player here, at least in APAC so far throughout this entire season. This was utterly incredible, and yeah, like I said, it's a no-brainer. If you give it to anybody else, it would just be the worst decision that you could possibly make. MN3 is our player of the match.
You didn't watch the game if it's not MN3. I mean, you simply just didn't watch the game if it's anybody but MN3 here. And Wow, I mean, this is also significant because it's versus the Seoul Dynasty. I mean, it's not like MN3 just popped it out and, yeah, he's playing against the Valiant, the Charge, or somebody. Yeah, it's just kind of padding stats. No, you're up against the damn Seoul Dynasty. You're up against two potential MVP candidates in Profit and Smirts. You're up against Fitz, who's been lauded as one of the best hit scam players right after the lip, who, last year himself made an incredible name for himself in the Ash. And MN3 just said no to everybody. He's like, yeah, I'll have D, none of the above, thank you very much. And on top of all of that, if that wasn't enough, Seoul Dynasty's win streak has been broken. And I'm not just talking about the 7-0 that they came in with versus the Philly Fusion. Forget about that. I mean, we talked about Fusion. It's like, oh, could they take a map? No, how about just take the whole series here? But also, Seoul Dynasty can no longer get that perfect stage anymore. This is their only loss in the entire mid-season qualifier. And overall for the entire rivalry as well, the scoreline is now 7-5. So it was 7-4. We started this year with 5-4, so it was a very close rivalry. Since then, Seoul been climbing ahead. Fusion, I'm happy to say, finally clawing back themselves.
Well, utterly incredible and a breath of fresh air for not just the Fusion players, but for the fan base overall. This is going to be a scary amount of hopium injected directly into their veins ahead of a mid-season madness. But if they can perform like that, if MN3 can show up in international competition, then there is not a team in this world that can go in with confidence versus the Fusion, because that was a terrifying performance, striking fear into the hearts of everybody, not just the APAC region, but everybody that is potentially going to have to play against them when it comes down to that mid-season madness tournament. We're not done yet, though. There's so much more, I think, to talk about. Many more praises to be sung for MN3 in particular. So we're going to go to a quick little break, and when we come back, we'll have our game break, chat a little bit more about this, what it potentially means for the Fusion moving forward into the mid-season madness tournament. So don't go anywhere, guys.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Upper Deck, the official trading card of the Overwatch League. And by TeamSpeak, the official voice supplier of the Overwatch League.
And we are back, and if you're just now joining us and you see that scoreline, no, we are not replaying matches from the past. The Fusion just absolutely showed up. MN3 in particular put on his carry pants, he ate his Wheaties, and he absolutely clapped. He ate his, I say he ate his Wheaties, I think it was the cheesesteaks. Roston, GM of Fusion. If I'm correct, if the cheesesteaks were the secret to this victory, I think you owe me one, because I introduced you guys to that restaurant. So quick surface me a cheesesteak over right now. I think you owe me that much, and I'm also a little peckish at the moment. But man, what a match we just witnessed. Dynasty kicking things off, winning that first map of Oasis, but that's as good as it got for them.
I know, and speaking of peckish, by the way, Achilles, I mean, I got a taste of the good stuff, but I need to eat more. I'm hungry for a little bit more action, so wow, Philadelphia Fusion, super impressive stuff. One thing that I can definitely confirm is, you know, this is the leveled up MN3. Now he's MN4. This is what MN4 looks like, so boom, done. Philadelphia Fusion, though, I think this is great in terms of their look to go to the Midseason Madness, because they were potentially, I don't know, one of the most underhyped teams in our top 4 qualified for the Midseason Madness. There were so many doubts, and look, I'm not going to lie to you, I think Chengdu were at least a little bit hard done by the format points-wise. So if Fusion are going to be the team going on through, and they are, then I need to see them step up big time. They need to be, I think, worthy of a top 4 position, because previous to this, I was like, you know what, I think Chengdu are like a top 4 team right now. I'm not so sure about the Fusion, or maybe even the Spark. But with Chengdu kind of losing out yesterday as well to the Spark, and an 0-3 Spark kind of showing their mettle, proving themselves, and they'll maybe do a little bit more of that in the next match as well. Philadelphia Fusion to me were the next question mark on the list. Like, are they going to perform in the Midseason Madness versus the other 4 teams? I don't want it to be a situation where it's just Seoul and Shanghai that look good versus NA, and the other 2 teams are forgettable. However, this game has single-handedly turned around my confidence levels for the Philly Fusion walking into Midseason Madness. And if you're underestimating this team now in the Midseason Madness, you're some NA teams like, we're just going to roll them. Hell no. Hell no, you're not. Look at this. This is unreal.
Yeah, utterly incredible. And it feels like, to you know, for people who enjoy good movies, it felt like Chengdu Hunters were kind of like Tom Hanks at the end of Saving Private Ryan. You know, we looked over at Matt Damon and he said, earn this. They said that to the Fusion, like, you've been given this spot, we're not going. Everybody thinks that we're the, you know, 3rd best team in the region and whatnot. People have doubts about you. Earn this. And they took that to heart, and they absolutely have. An incredible performance here from the Fusion to really instill some hope and confidence in this squad moving forward into the Midseason Madness tournament. Like I said, if they perform like they did today, if MN3 can continue to find value like this, they could beat anybody in the world right now. It just looks impeccable from them. But like you said, you're still hungry for some action. I am as well. I think I can squeeze in another match or so here. You know, maybe another 5 mapper, potentially at least 4.
That was just the appetizer today. I got a main course ahead, hopefully.
Yeah, here we go. It's going to be maybe our dessert here. Maybe that was the main course. This is the dessert to kind of finish off the evening, finish off the qualifiers. We've got the Valiant going up against the Hangzhou Spark. I mean, Valiant, they've had their ups and downs for sure. They got a couple wins under their belt. They had that reverse sweep over the Fusion. Transitive Property says that they are absolutely incredible right now, so maybe they can take down the Spark. We're going to find out in just a few minutes when we return. We'll dive into that second series, so don't go anywhere. And we're back. It's time to go into our last series of the evening weekend qualifier. This is going to be the Valiant going up against the Hangzhou Spark. Spark looking for this win so they can go ahead and slot themselves up just a little bit higher in the standings. Valiant, of course, playing for pride, playing to buffer up that win rate of theirs just a little bit more.
Yeah, they've only had 3 wins so far this entire season. 1 they had versus Chengdu Hunters. Actually introduced the team as well, shouldn't be too unfamiliar. We've had a lot of Easy Hunt innovation in the past. Wouldn't be surprised if they are starting again. Dia has now mostly been matched up with Becky as far as the lineup goes. You know, Easy Hunt innovation together. Marvel, usually the player on our first map. Really impressed with their last game versus Seoul, even despite losing. And maybe that was a bit of a preview to Seoul losing today, because it seemed like more teams were catching up. Maybe Seoul were, I don't want to necessarily speak this too far into existence, because, you know, let's take our tinfoil hat off for a second. I don't know if Seoul are just taking it a little bit easy because they already qualified. I'm sure that can't be the case. It's still a 3-0, but that icon vault there was pretty damn good. Becky carried this team on the Echo. Linksa had some great moments as well on the Zen. Molly's Anna, as good as ever, but still unfortunately not a win. And Achilleos, they're currently on a 0-9 map loss streaks. Their last 3 matches have all been 0-3s.
Well, it has been rough tidings for them, but hey, the last matches from the Fusion versus the Dynasty were all basically 0-3s and whatnot. An 0-4 thrown in there as well in the grand final. So if they can turn it around and get that W, the Valiant absolutely can. I mean, they've shown it in the past. They got that reverse sweep over the Fusion themselves. So I know that they are capable of great things if the stars can align. We'll just have to get our telescopes out and see how the night sky is looking here this evening. The Hangzhou Spark, of course, though, not going to be a pushover squad as they look to best them.
And Hangzhou Spark as well, I think, you know, they had a bit of a rough going in their previous week, right? 0-3 to Seoul, who, by the way, at this stage, there's a lot of 0-3s. You'll notice that to Seoul that we've had, that's because Seoul Dynasty at this stage in the entire season have actually 3-0 every single team. But beyond that, Hangzhou Spark, okay, they lost to Philly Fusion in a 5-map series as well, so people start to lose a bit of confidence for the Hangzhou Spark because they did 2 losses in a row. The one versus Seoul did not look pretty. Most people were kind of down in the Philly Fusion during that stage as well, so them losing to Fusion didn't feel good as well. But they beat the Chengdu Hunters yesterday. That was actually, you know, a pretty resounding win. I mean, Hunters definitely fought. It wasn't extremely one-sided, but the scoreline still is going to be a 3-0. And I'm going to apply the same sort of, to me, expectations on this team as I did the Philly Fusion, which is to say that, okay, you've qualified. You're not the Seoul Dynasty. You're not the Shanghai Dragons. So please, you do have to really prove that you are an extremely good team that's going to really do some damage overseas. So we're going to get to the Midseason Madness. We're going to get to a stage where things are going to get hot and heavy. Speaking of which, you see the no-hill back rub on the Linksa. I need to see the Spark come out in full force, and yesterday we got a good glimpse of that. Today, they need to continue that rolling forward.
That they do. See if they can get it done. Yeah, yesterday a bit of a 3 Overwatch day that come through, so I kind of dodged that one. Got in for the closer series. So I'm grateful for that pre-planning on my part. But yeah,
7 map
everything
Sunday.
to play for. 7, yeah. We'll see if it can happen.
5 map Friday, 6-map Saturday, 7-map Sunday.
That was a 9-map Saturday, really. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see if the Valiant can make it happen. I know that there are going to be people, of course, cheering for them, namely
the good news is
Zonde in the chat.
The good news is No Hill has a shirt on this time. Shoutouts if you get that reference. But,
how well rested is he? Is the question. Has he been denying himself sleep to cook up some more crazy compositions, or has he been getting his sheep counted?
I mean, respect. I think the previous matches, you know, they're definitely a little bit hard on themselves. Like, I saw the tweet from No Hill recently. He's like, it's the last 2 months are my bad. But to be honest with you, they had 1 week where they were astounding. They got the reverse sweep versus Fusion. 2 match wins, 2 out of their total 3 match wins. They got the one versus Guangzhou Charge, which they failed to get in the kickoff clash. So it's not all bad news. Just so happens that as we get to the end of the mid-season madness now, it doesn't get any easier because, as I said, if Spark come out in the same sort of form that they had versus the Chengdu Hunters yesterday, where Alpha you received play of the match, he was ridiculously good on that Tracer, something that I think he was a bit slow to start on in the early games of mid-season madness. Now he's all but not even just caught up, but overtaken in various respects. With so many teams playing Ashe, Shy is phenomenal in Ashe, as you'll remember. So we just saw what MN3 could do. Shy, let's see if he does something similar.
Be a big boon for them. Also take that pressure off Alpha Yi, because man has had moments where he is absolutely hard carrying as well, much like we just saw from MN3. So if Shy can have that same or a similar level of impact with the Ashe, that does open things up a hell of a lot more for Alpha Yi to feel comfortable. So we'll see what happens, though, as we go into our first map of Helios.
Let's have a look at opening composition stuff here as well. One other thing to consider is that Hangzhou Spark did play Goose Ray yesterday, and that was on Dorado, so we'll see if that ends up happening again on a Winston map. You could actually very much see Goose Ray, otherwise Burner has been their choice. We're also pretty far away now from the Architect sort of experiment, and the Flex support. Super Rich is back on the starting lineup, and I think probably for the best, Spark have looked much more comfortable with Super Rich in that position than previously. So, as expected, we have double Ashes coming on through. Apex just like, you know what, Ashe is actually the best hero. People say Sojin's busted. Let's see who really is busted.
Yeah, and I mean, far from it. Me being a professional player, but in my experience playing the beta, Ashe has typically been the one who's coming out with some of the highest damage per 5 figures in my experiences. So it seems like you just kind of caught up to my own gameplay,
Quicker games and quick play. You don't do the per 10s, you do the per 5s, don't you? But
Titans and Justice also played up to my gameplay.
I mean, I can
they caught up to.
I can tell you right now, even though Irony does kill easy, I can tell you right now, looking at the stats between both Ashe and Sojin, the Ashe performances have had much higher damage per 10s, have had far more consistent damages than the Sojins, despite the Sojins probably typically getting a little bit more in the final blows department. And I don't know if you had anything to add there for the Hangzhou Spark getting 3 kills, but they get the point.
Yeah, that's about it, I think. Good summary. It's more of a we'll find an opening kill, taking down Shy. It's going to allow for Easy Han to get into a decent position, perhaps, and try to catch up on that ult charge. Currently trailing behind by just about 17 or so. Dive in, Marvel putting just a little bit of damage there onto Irony as the sleep connects onto Bernard. They get the ante down, looking for the elimination, but can't quite finish him out yet. But with the seismic slam and Easy Han shot, we'll finally be able to pick off the main tank. Pulse Bomb out, not going to find anything. Innovation does find Super Rich's Immortality Field on the opposite side of the spectrum there. As Irony finds one before falling, and Shy is completely and utterly surrounded without a hope. Innovation just cleaning up 2, looks for a 3rd, but Alpha should be able to escape, you would think. Dashes over, grabs the Mega Pack, they continue to duke it out. He wants to chase this because that Discord Orb is there. It's just a little bit more damage to make it happen, but Alpha will live to fight another day.
Yeah, it's the addition of Bernard there. Innovation not interested in the 1 versus 2, doesn't want to overstep. That's a smart thing, and we're seeing a lot more innovation specifically because I don't think he just is the Tracer specialist on the team. He's also a bit of a specialist with a couple of other heroes, but not quite as good in this meta. Tracer being a very important hero currently for all of our APAC teams. Innovation is kind of showing his worth in this team when he wasn't playing that much in the kickoff clash. So here we go. Marvel gets Nano.
Punch there forces Irony to use the Transcendence. Bob now going to be invested by Shy. Keep the point contested. Trance now matched. Langs up popping that to keep everybody alive, but Molly's still under some fire. Lengza as well getting chipped away at. Marvel's got to escape using the Meteor Strike, himself in the fight. LPE diving forward, finds Lengza. Pulse Bomb lobbed in, cuts off Molly's escape route. Nade comes down, and that's enough healing for him to stay alive, at least for a little bit longer. DPS now gone to the side of the Spark. The Bob goes out. To be occupying the point, the Valiant will be able to maintain control of this.
Great kills by Easyhunt. I mean, the damage is certainly there. Marvel coming back for the final kill. And just about there. I think by the time that Spark actually come in for it, it will be last fight, especially waiting for Irony to respawn. That felt like the longest respawn in the world. Super Rich onto the brig here as well, so see what they can do with all of this. As Minefield will be very important coming on in. Well played by Marvel so far, though. I think this Doom versus Ball matchup we've been seeing a lot. And slowly I'm thinking the Ball's got the better of Doom, but Marvel's got other things to say.
Final fight here from the side of the Spark to try to get the flip and then try to win out all of the fights from there on after. Once he started to bleed away, Spark occupying the point for now, looking like the flip is going to come through. Contest at the very last second is there. Shy finds Lengza. A big opening as they cut down the healing. Rotate around and, oh, okay. A bit of a double take from Bernard. Oh, yeah, that is Easyhunt. Finds an elimination.
Easyhunt nearly got booped off.
Stunned for a moment. Yep.
He went off the map and had to coach gun back up, so I think he might have been booped by a Super Rich or somebody. Either Burner or Super Rich must have bumped him off the map, and then he had to coach gun back in, which gave Shy an easy kill, again, Hunter Spark rather, an easy kill together. He'll be fine, Super Rich is blocking damage. Burner will even eat the Bionade for them both, so should be pretty easy now. It does give Molly some decent ult charge for the Nano, so this is going to be another Marvel Nano straight away.
Getting tagged up a bit, Marvel has to get the Nano just to help him stay alive there. Still feel incredibly low, but Alpha E gets picked off first and foremost. Good opener here for the side of the Valiant, but now they lose Lengza as well. That's going to give Irony now the Flux ready to roll. He pops that. Just keeping everybody alive where possible. Shine taking down the only casualty found so far. Innovation giving his life to get rid of Super Rich, but Irony is still here, and he is not only healing, he is fragging. The cleanups come through. The Hangzhou Spark win out the fight, and now they're going to be pushing past 90%.
Yeah, they got a Bob here as well, which is super important for the final fight, right? Molly can sleep the Bob, but not for the full duration of the Bob, which means it will get impact. Innovation and Marvel are not going to like that at all.
Trance.
The rally as well. We saw Super Rich swap over to the break. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, there's a recall. Never mind.
He got out. He got out.
I was pretty scared for a second.
I think he might have actually been able to dash up over the lip of that well, but it's hard to say. Either way, the Bob now going to be invested. Takes down Marvel. Could not survive. The healing could not come through. Lengza now with the Transcendence at the ready. Like we're going to have to use it to try to buy some extra time here for the rest of the squad. And yeah, the pressure has been applied. Shy
too much.
Is clicking heads. Absolutely monstrous from him. They said, can he do an MN3 impersonation? Well, he did it there at the very end, coming up with multiple kills for the side of the Spark, enabling them to close out the round, but it's still incredibly close between the two. 100 to 99% as well goes the way of Hangzhou.
And the other thing there as well is you can see that with the Ashe headshot onto the Tracer, it's a one-hit kill, right? So it doesn't, the trans makes no difference. This is part of the other reason why the Ashe gameplay is there, because when Tracer gets good, Ashe has a great matchup with a Tracer. If you can hit that headshot, Coach Gun also helps with that. And obviously you can just kill through all sorts of different things, including trance and all sorts of healing as well. Hangzhou Spark bouncing back from a bit of a deficit. And then we'll get the comeback 100 to 99, like you said. Bob ended up making a reasonable difference as I expected. Marvel, despite receiving a Nano, it is still so hard to survive, and it's crazy, right? I mean, you have this Doomfist that has half damage being taken, effectively double the HP bar, but just still gets melted.
Well, now in to Lighthouse, Dynamite out from Shy, just going to be taking an early little lead here on that Bob charge. Sees Lengza for just a moment. Get a shot across, though. In fact, take some damage in response to try to flush them out of that high ground position, but the Dynamite not going to detonate and find any damage. So point becomes unlocked. Alpha E getting tagged down. Hiding just around the corner. Now looks to recontest. Has to deal with two members, though. Well, Harmony out onto him, trying to keep him healthy. This recall's been burned, and you can see Innovation struggling a little bit to keep track of where he's going to be at. Bernard goes into the back line, putting some pressure there onto Easyhunt, rolls over, grabs the Mega Pack shot, or yeah, Shy going to be taken down. Nice headshot there from Lengza. Innovation traded. As both of these Zenyatas continue to get their hands dirty. The point not yet capped by either side.
And we'll see if this 5v4 can make a big difference. Marvel discorded and low HP. It's the two Zen players in the frag so far, right? And you don't normally think of Zen being played by Lengsa, but in a double flex support meta, when Molly goes over towards the Ana, certainly is going to be Lengsa to pick up those skills. Speaking of which, Easy Han on the board. Burner's been trying very hard to keep him on the lock, but to no avail.
Yep, great dynamite there from Easy Han. Sets up for Molly to get that shot across the Shy. They managed to take him down. First point lock-in now there for the Valiant once more as Bernard will fall, and Hangzhou Spark going to have to reset. Valiant currently looking for any stagger kills that they can possibly get, just poking and prodding forward, but it looks like they're not going to be able to get too much of anything. Just Alfie tucked away in the corner.
You see two frags, one from Lengsa, one from Molly. Oh, Shy, he goes down again. It's another flex support. 3 of Shy's last 3 deaths, all 3 of his last 3 deaths have been to the flex supports of the LA Valiant. So Spark losing Shy at the top of these fights is costing them quite a lot, and they're not able to do nearly as much over towards Easy Han, where we see once more Bernard trying to get on top of Easy Han, just eyes to him.
Alfie into the back line, pulse bomb at the ready, dashes forward, dodges to the side, needs to respect Lengsa, given the kill streak that he's currently on. Molly taking quite a bit of damage, needs some help. Throws down the Bionade, that'll zone him back for the moment. Shy returning, now has Innovation taken out. The Bob's just going to be duking it out. A good old Bob off on the point. It will be the Sparks that dies first. Irony now, popping the Transcendence. Pulse Bomb out, not going to find the stick. Molly keeps himself alive. Alfie takes away the Mega Pack, but there's the sleep. Can they get somebody nearby? Try to scoop up the kill, and they will. Marvel arrives, the headshots fly. Alfie dead. Trade out as Easy Han was dead just moments before, but now with Shy gone. The upper hand, it's there for the side of the Valiant. Pulse Bomb stick goes across, Bernard falling lower and lower. The Seismic Slam will finish him off with the help of the Discord orb out from Lengsa. The Valiant retained control, 75%.
Marvel looking for the ganks, he might get it here as well. He does. That's an ace from Marvel, 5 kills. First one was set up by the Molly Sleep Dart, but the rest of them, he's just going to come on in and pump that damage like you know tomorrow. 87%. Not too sure about the Meteor Strike, but it does allow him to set up. If the Spark does not see the Meteor Strike, they don't know where he is. So he's burnt an ultimate just to set up on a specific position on the map.
Playing forward, Shy once more. Eliminated. Marvel finds that kill. Innovation gets Alpha Yi, and that is all of the delay tactics taken away from the Spark. The cleanup comes through. The OT bleeds down. The Super Rich, the rally in desperation. It's just sadness awaiting them. What a response here. 100-99 in the first round. Valiant will extend this to ruins after a 100-0 sweep on Lighthouse.
Just the ability from the LA Valiant across so many different members to keep a lid on Shy gives them so much in terms of a difference. For Easy Han to have space to work through, for everyone else to have space to work through. The fact that, you know, we're talking about Marvel using an ultimate for setup purposes, just wants to get onto the roof there. And I'm like, well, this better pay off, because that's a whole damn ultimate he's used it. Straight away, kills Shy. Just lands on top of him, bops him out of the server. 5 versus 4 in the final fight. Everything you need. Marvel, 6 kills in a row, gets an ace in the middle of the fight. I mean, Marvel has been incredible on Doom so far. He's easily one of the best Dooms I've ever seen.
Yeah, he's done some wonderful things with this Doom. The tech clearly very much learned. This man spent some time in some parkour maps. Shy going to be hacked off the rip as Innovation starts things with the Sombra.
Watch out for this one.
Always a cause for concern when we do see the Sombras at the start.
So,
we'll see how they pilot this one out.
You'll notice I mentioned that Innovation had a couple of other specials here. This is one of them. He has a bit of a Sombra special. Lengsa on the Super Rich again. Lengsa's had so many first bloods, by the way.
Absolutely has. Shy going to be taken down as well. Alpha Yi only able to find Lengsa here at the end, but now the supports are all dead. The front line broken down. Alpha Yi recalls, but they know exactly where he's going. He will still manage to finish off Molly in the back end of the fight, but the point once more capped by the Valiant to start.
And Bernard, does you stay on the Zarya? Because like it's pretty slow, man. Like Hangzhou Spark, I don't know if this is the right composition for them. They're going to run around. Marvel and Innovation playing this one fairly quickly. The health pack control coming through from Marvel is pretty big as well, given that Innovation has that mega hacked on the coast side all the time.
Marvel spotted as Bernard checks around the corner, pushed away. Bubble up, not going to be taking any damage from the punch. Shy just sat here since the coach gun flying. Since Marvel out, he's getting tagged lower and lower. Will eventually be finished off, but Easy Han gets in on top of the enemy. Ash finds an elimination. Bernard going to be taking a nap in the meantime, and everybody corrals in around the Zarya to try to find the kill, but they haven't been able to find it. He's completely isolated, stuck on his lonesome, and somehow Bernard is still alive and in the fight. Anti-nade goes down onto him at the moment. The EMP now coming across. Takes away his shielding, hacks out onto 3. They look for the eliminations, but so far, none to be found if he's not onto the hack target. Nano going to be used, just everything to try to keep Benar alive and in this fight. Right click flying through. He's in innovation, eventually manages to track him down. The flip comes through from the side of the Spark, but the fight continues now. So going lower and lower, the grab going to be invested. 100 energy here for Bernard, but as he tries to round the corner to get that finishing blow, he's not going to be able to do it. They strike him down. The kills are there. Hangzhou Spark might just lose this just as quickly as they gained it, and they do. It's back in control of the Valiant.
It's so hard for Spark to kind of stick on a target here. I mean, they can try and get onto the backline, but even Lynx has been fragging out on this break so far. Between the Tracer, Sombra, and the Doom, LA Valiant are running circles around the Hangzhou Spark. They lose the more stable damage out of playing an Ashe, but that just means the Valiant have to be super active on dives, to be super active on the map. They cannot play passive at all, and they're just getting the face of the Hangzhou Spark. I've said that Lynx gets first bloods, and he just keeps on getting them.
Pulse bomb out, not going to find the elimination, but still does quite a bit of damage. Bernard gets taken down, the rally rolling from Super Rich, trying to keep the rest of the team alive, and no one is really receiving that green HP. It's going to be forced back around the corner. Alpha U with a pulse. Needs to come up with a massive one. The Super Rich narrowly stays alive. Irony as well getting tagged low as the anti's out of the shy. Contest needing to happen.
Touch.
Alpha Yi is there. Will force out the overtime here as the pulse bomb stick comes through. And that's going to be Langston taken out of the fight. A good find, but can they get more? Because they absolutely need a hell of a lot more of it if they want to be in control. They still have such a long hill to climb. Trying here on the high ground, looking for a target. The Bob going to be coming through. Does contest and occupy the point. Keeping things going for the Spark. They will be able to get the flip through. Now moving up, getting ready to crest 20%.
Yeah, it's important that Valiant actually force some ultimates here, so I think they see the writing on the wall. Bob comes out from shot. We can't play up against this Bob. They're going to get staggered here, which is a little bit unfortunate. Innovation getting some final touches of damage in to confirm the EMP, so that's actually going to give the Hangzhou Spark some ability to regain lost ultimates, especially now that Nano is about to be online for Irony. Brilliant stick coming through from Alpha U. So in terms of clutch capability for the Spark, Alpha U gets to touch, gets a stick on the raid boss of Lynx so far, who's been doing so much in the break, and that allows Hangzhou Spark to confirm the 5v4.
Halfway to the flip for now. Alpha U getting stunned there for just a moment by Marvel. Don't manage to find the kill, but the flip is coming through, and now they have it. Spark off the point, the pulse bomb dropped in. Not going to find anything. Alpha U still holding on to one of his own. Bernard hacked here for the moment, but the Nano is helping to keep him alive. Alpha U goes into the back line. He manages to find Molly. The rally rolling from Langston, trying to keep everybody else alive, but he will fall quickly thereafter. Shy with some great shooting. Picks up those kills. It looks like the Spark will once more be able to regain control of this point and continue to tick up.
The fact that they had the point flip, though, is really unfortunate for the Spark because they lose a lot of important percentage points, right? When you're winning the fight but not gaining percentage on the map, that really sucks. I don't know what happened to the EMP there from Innovation. He might have been punched out of it, might have been, you know, stunned out of it. It didn't look like his EMP actually landed on anybody. Perhaps I missed that. We'll have to see. See if they can land this dive, though. Irony, Mr. Bionade himself, he'll be fine.
Easy Han dead. Good headshot from Shy, just buying more time, buying more percentage for themselves. Innovation with a sliver of HP. Needs to get some healing. Molly going to be antied out. He throws the Nano. It's going over to the legs up, but he can't play forward off of this one, so the Nano's not going to lead to much of anything. Marvel pulling lower and lower. They need to keep him alive, and he does end up dying. Finds Bernard for it, but that's still going to be favorable here for the side of the Spark at the moment.
Should be easy to touch, though, because they have a Sombra right, so not going to be a bit of an issue for the LA Valiant. And this will be really unfortunate for the LA Valiant to lose because they were so far ahead at one stage. Hangzhou Spark had to make basically 099 comeback. Here comes that rally from Super Rich.
Meteor strikes used by either side. The drop down coming through. Not going to be finding too much damage there. Is Marvel. Gets the hit into the corner, onto the pillar, is onto Shy, but Shy has taken down Molly moments before. Now he finds another kill. It's Marvel dead. Langza out. Just the DPS duo here from the side of the Valiant to try to win it out, but Easy Hunt has fallen. And Innovation, he's not going to be able to do much of anything. A quick little scope in. Shy cleans him up, and while it is close, Valiant clearly turned up here, practiced and ready to play. The Hangzhou Spark are going to be able to take the first map. Ilios is theirs. They kick things off 1-0.
I think Valiant can't be too upset about that performance, but at the same time, I think they were so close to losing. You see the kind of frustration on Molly's face there as well, because, you know, part of the issue there for me was you do see the ending, which is basically he pops a Nano into Langsa. Like you said, they couldn't do anything off the back of that one. It seemed like such a wonky play for the LA Valiant when they were so far ahead, and all Spark needed to do was to give Shy some space to work. And once he got that space, Shark started popping off on this Ashe, whereas prior to that, the LA Valiant had mostly kept the lid on top of Shy for the entire game. Props to Alpha U though. That one contested the pulse bomb flip, that was everything for the Spark.
And it was a huge win here from the side of the Spark, who looked like they were backed into a corner, but they managed to fight their way out of it. Valiant now starting with, on the back foot. We'll see if they can put the right foot forward, though, as we get ready to go into King's Row this time for our hybrid map for our last series of the week and evening, whether or not they can tie it up. We'll see what happens when we come back from the break, so don't go anywhere. The action continues in just a few. A hard-fought battle on our first map, but one at the Hangzhou Spark can hold their heads high after being a victorious in. 2-1 for them on Ilios to kick things off. So now they have one map under their belt. We'll see if they can get another as we get ready to go into King's Row, or if the Valiant will be able to tie up the series.
It just feels like such a shame for the LA Valiant as well, because in the kickoff clash, they had multiple map 5s. Seemed like they were deserving of winning games. They were good enough to win games, but they were just falling short. Now, they're no longer getting maps, but the sadder thing is the maps are super close. This map in particular, down to the wire. I mean, it could have easily have gone either way. Said the same thing about multiple maps yesterday. Well, maybe not the first, but the last two definitely, especially Iconvolta for LA Valiant versus Seoul Dynasty, right? And that's versus the Seoul Dynasty as well, where, okay, Seoul have lost twice now, but I still consider them to be one of the best teams. Other teams are catching up is, I think, the real storyline that we're going with here. And certainly LA Valiant, they look good. They look good enough to beat the Spark, but they can't close out these maps when it matters.
Still has been the struggle. We'll see if the swap-ups help lead them to a map victory here, as we do have Becky and Dia stepping in for the side of the Valiant. And it's going to be Liga making a little appearance for the side of the Spark.
That's his league debut. That's his league debut. He has never played in the Overwatch League before. This is his first ever game in a year and a half.
I mean, Hangzhou fans...
Holy, wait a minute.
Last season, there's a lot of people saying, where is he? Why isn't he playing? Well, it's finally happening. I know I didn't put as much emphasis on it as I probably should have, but I was kind of just really making sure that I was reading this correctly. It's like, oh, did the Spark make any changes? Let me go down the line. And there's a Liga. Wait, a Liga? What?
I don't care anymore. Liga, first map debut in the Overwatch League. He's Rookie of the Year. I don't even care that he's technically not a rookie because he was signed last year. Didn't even get to play. I don't care anymore. No, okay, but we are expecting a lot. Okay, history lesson here. Who is Liga? You've never seen him before. He's been sitting on the Spark bench for a year and a half. He is a Sigma specialist in some ways. Off-tank player, used to be Dia's teammate on Team CC, used to be Dia and Gaga and Farway, their teammate, used to be Super Rich's teammate as well, back in the days of Team CC when they won Contenders Asia Gauntlet, used to be Innovations. There's a lot of connections here you'll notice between the two different teams. So, I mean, I just can't believe we're actually seeing him. He is like known for his Sigma, so if there is a world and a meta that he should kind of shine in, you hope it be this one.
Yeah, a bit like Krong in that regard. Let's see how he fares now. Is Marvel just going to be sticking through with the Doom Fist that he's so well versed at? Bionade not quite going to clip him. Just out of range of that AoE. As the high ground contest from Marvel, Grecian stun does come across. Discord Orb is out. We'll be able to get top back up though as they start the point contention here. Rotating back is just a lot of attention being paid to that rookie there, as we can safely call him a rookie. He might have been signed for over a year, but not having played, he's still a rookie.
How does the rules work? Where's Mr. X moving him? How do the rules work? I don't actually know. I think technically he doesn't count as a rookie anymore, but I don't know. I have no idea.
I think he's got to.
We'll let the people with those paychecks figure that one out. Brad Ross, maybe you can tell me a little bit later. I actually want to talk about the Echoes for a little bit because we saw Becky carry on this Echo on Iconvolta versus Seoul Dynasty yesterday. Alpha Yi has been known for his phenomenal Echo plays as well, so that's not going to be matched on both sides. Oh, Super Rich in a little bit of trouble here, but he's okay.
He gets utterly destroyed. Nade placement here from Shy is fantastic. Zones him to the left side of the hotel. Looking to push out though, they will force him away. There's the slide out. Alpha E with a quick cancel on the beam. Realized he wasn't going to be able to get that execution onto Becky, so pulls back away. Slow going. First tick was nearly there for the side of the Valiant as they recontest the point once more.
Minute 30.
Didn't quite make it happen. Jump away, Marvel. Staying safe from the accretion stun. Dia just trying
Molly
to
on Nano.
Hope and pray somebody comes through. Gets tagged there by
Has
those
to be a Nano
arrows.
engage.
He's got him. There's Alfie taken down out of the skies. Now point being occupied. First tick surely getting to come through, but as I say that, Marvel, he rotates off. The kill is there from Shy. The rail, it connects. Dia trying now to contest onto that high ground, but he has been spotted. He's falling lower and lower. Duplicate going to be coming through. Becky's got a couple people contained here in the side of room. The sleep is across. The accretion stun hits onto Liga. Says, welcome to the Overwatch League. They clean him up. The flux is there in rapid time. Becky will find a second elimination with Super Rich being taken down. Point, however, still not being taken. First tick getting ready to come through. They have snatched that up for themselves, but Marvel still on the Doom. Can they recontest? Or rather, with
very
Liga
clean from
rotating
Liga.
back, can they
well,
recontest?
Rather, from Becky. I was thinking about Liga. Liga got clapped by Becky there, unfortunately, but now on the retake here, Alpha Yi copies the Doom over. Can he get something done? Shy on the overclock here as well. They have the frag so far.
Well, he doesn't do too much of anything, but he does cause a nice distraction for 2 kills to come through here for the side of the Spark. They pick up Molly, they pick up Becky. This is now going to be swapping back over to the Tracer with Langsa going down. This is the Hangzhou Spark finding stability.
Yeah,
He's been able to come back through. Marvel's dead.
I gotta say as well, that's really a shame because we are barely shy of a 2-tick there from the LA Valiant. I was in the middle of complimenting Becky because he had such a clean dive in. He receives her nano, was wondering, where's the nano going to go? Strange that they didn't nano Marvel, who was on low HP. He dies. Becky gets the nano, finds a copy, completely stomps on top of Liga, and just does everything required from an Echo player. So LA Valley not being able to cap with the back of that one is a little bit tragic. Less than a minute remaining now. Liga does have his Flux available. This will be his first ultimate of the Overwatch League. See what he does with that.
An exciting one at that. See if he can find some value here. As there's no trance, there's no immortality field, obviously, so a big catch could be massive here for them. The Flux now going to be coming through. Looks like it might have been a whiff.
Three players checked into the hotel. You know, got some good betting in there, I hope, as LA Valiant just chilling out, waiting the Flux out.
Ooh.
Still 20 seconds remaining, though, so they might have dodged the Flux, but really they're not on the fire just yet.
Well, certainly not. Marvel, every time he tries to contest this high ground, just gets chunked out. Liga now under some fire. Dragon Strike comes through, but the immortality field is there to keep him alive. Point now having to be occupied. OT needs to be forced. Has anyone touched it? They have now. Sean going to be taken down, but Dia traded a 1-for-1 so far on the DPS. Liga under fire once more. Discord Orb sat here on the Sigma. Can they keep him alive into the fight? Or rather, the ante comes across. Becky gets the pulse bomb through. They find the elimination. Irony now falling lower and lower, sitting in the hotel, ends up falling down. Super Rich not going to be able to do a damn thing here. We'll just drop down through the immortality field, buy some time to try to not get split spawned too badly. But the cap will be there eventually for the Valiant. 2.5 minutes now added to the time bank.
Really cool stuff from the support line of Linkster and Molly as well. I think super underrated on this team, but more and more I'm starting to see their value. I'm starting to see how much work they're putting into this. And look, I said this to you in the break, but Molly didn't look too happy after losing Ilios, so I hope he's kind of forgiven himself a little bit for the Ana plays, because that nano onto Linkster eventually actually got them a kill as well. Didn't nano Marvel, didn't nano Becky, but was enough to allow Linkster to kind of carry hard, who's been a real sleeper hit on this team. I got to admit, Linkster's been popping in some big numbers.
Dynamite over the top. Liga once more being the focus of the Valiant, wanting to go for the rookie, not rookie. I'll still maintain that he's a rookie. Drop down. Now contesting here on the corner. Barrier broken.
Waiting for window.
Pilot this rather safely. Shine with a nice opening kill, though. Gets the rail headshot there onto Dia. Now the window's going to be opened up. They continue to push forward and occupy the space around the card. Couple people zoned off on this right-hand flank. Langza now being spotted. The Sleep Dart comes into Peel. Shy getting jumped on. The Transcendence coming through. Marvel finds the finishing blow. They clean up the immortality field as well. Liga has to try to back up. The Flux this time does get a catch. Marvel up into the air, ends up going down. Well, Flux itself won't find the kills. The cleanup comes through from the rest of the Spark. Nice cooperative effort from them to once more halt this.
Valiant don't have the numbers here, so they have to back out now. Marvel, I think, was just maybe half a second off from punching out of the Flux range. He was actually mid-punch animation, gets caught. Not the best window I've seen from Super Rich. That amplification matrix doesn't really help them at the end of the day. What it does do is split off the LA Valiant, but even then, Marvel still gets a kill off of Molly's amazing sleep dart, but that's not enough to get Valiant across the board. Valiant now struggling on time. A lot of ultimates on the other end. Who's going to receive the nano this time? It's probably Marvel, because Becky's off the Echo.
LP pushing forward, looking for an opportunity to get a beam across. Doesn't find one, falls low. Goes through the dupe, dive into the back line. Seismic Slam does hit a couple to try to keep him alive. Now has that immortality field out as well and manages to make his escape. Overclock, rolling, gets the hit onto Marvel. Shy sliding away, tries to stay safe. Dia going to be taken down, as you say. Not available. Langs is swapping over now onto the Lucio to try to rejoin as quickly as humanly possible, but someone's going to have to touch. It's wrapping around the back. There's the Meteor strike through. Beautifully timed by Marvel. Does manage to force out the OT. Langs here on the high ground, however. All on his lonesome, isolated. Now dead. Sticky bombs go through. Marvel dead in transit. Mid-punch ends up falling, and that should be the end of it. 96 meters as far as they're going to be able to get. No point being OT here for the side of the Hangzhou Spark. Or for the side of the Valiant, so Hangzhou Spark have a win condition is what I mean to say.
Celebratory trance there for Irony as well. So, you know, the entire way through that last fight and a half, I think even 2 fights, Irony was never in a position where he was forced to use the trance. So even if things went very poorly for the Spark and they started trading members and losing members, would have been bailed out by the trance, I could imagine. So LA Valiant, they nano Marvel, but they lack the damage, as you need to see everybody be able to kind of fly on in and assist that damage, but not to be the case there. maybe a bit of a premature swap off for Becky as well. I'd like to see Becky stay on the Echo throughout both A and B. I think C is when you can consider, okay, not the best position on the map to play the Echo anymore, but to already be off the Echo when that is such a prime win condition, such a major strength for the LA Valiant, as displayed when he kind of just shoved his face into Liga, attacking A, as displayed yesterday versus all the Seoul Dynasty. I mean, the Becky Echo is a major source of their power, and I kind of felt the difference of not having that once he swapped over to Tracer.
We'll see how they fare on the defense. Echo Hanzo set up here for the Valiant. Spark right now, at least showing the Hanzo themselves. We'll see if they get swapped up at all after the initial recon error comes through and they get a little bit of scouting done.
I find it interesting that Dia is on the Hanzo here. I think it's not completely out of question because Hanzo matchups versus Sigmas, they do exist to kind of break the hold of that Sigma, remove the shield. Also, the Dragon Strike is a great counterplay to the window. But Ashe being as good as it is for a lot of these APAC teams, none of these guys are playing Ashe. It's actually, it's a bit of a signature for both Shy and Dia. I think Dia eventually play the Ashe on that B defense, or B attack rather, but I guess starting out of the Hanzo will be the option for both teams. So pay attention to, I guess this time Becky is unimpeded as Alfie is not matching him on the Echo. Should be having a much better time.
Well, already point contest is there, and Marvel's been brought down off the high ground, something that Sigmas would love to just be able to sit on continuously, but has been brought down here alongside Liga. Throws up the barrier on that left-hand side, keeping himself protected from the enemy. Ana, Dia going to be the first one to fall. Molly now under some fire, sends out the sleep dart, will get that connection there onto Shy, but there's just nobody in position to try to capitalize. Becky would love to get himself into hotel right there, but he's not going to be able to do it, and Alfie somehow is alive! He didn't get taken down, he had about 7 HP, gets that stray shot across onto Becky, and just like that, the Hangzhou Spark are breaking through. The cap comes in, it's 5 minutes and 18 seconds in the time bank for them.
It's a brilliant fadeaway shot from Alpha Yi, who has been, himself on a bit of a renaissance. Didn't depart too much from the Rookie of the Year conversation, but in his past few games, he has just been phenomenal. So, Sonic Arrow coming on through, advanced position being taken by Liga and the rest of the Hangzhou Spark. Solo capping the point is probably going to be someone like Irony, as the LA Valiant. I mean, they're running out of space here quickly as they have to kind of fight for the first couple of corners first. Payload not going to be contested at all for the time being, as I think the super rich window as well will be a pretty big difference maker.
Alfie scouted there on that flank. Becky forcing him out of position. Storm Arrow, Hanzo duel here on the high ground. So they will end up backing away, both taking quite a bit of damage. Alfie, though, still just narrowly ahead when it comes down to this Dragon Strike, which will naturally tick up and be available here. And yep, the contest is not happening so far. Just a minute gone, and already so much of the distance has been closed in. Dragon Strike being sent through the building. Just kind of keeping everybody corralled over onto that right-hand side. Storm Arrows going out, Dia nanoed up, managing to find the kill here onto Alpha Yi. And Liga out of position, ends up going down. Like, the support's in a bit of an interesting position now for the side of the Hangzhou Spark. Full wraparound for the last 3 members still standing. And yeah, they kind of are committing to this fight. The window comes out first. Irony still not being pressured enough to pop that Transcendence. We'll see if he decides to use it. But for now, just have them zoned back. Valiant more than happy to just continue to occupy the cart. We play a little bit of ring around the rosy. Super Rich going to be antied out, forced down off the high ground for just a moment. Shy with a sliver of HP, 6 health remaining for him. Oh, the health pack taken. Alfie does not give it over to him, but now it's going to be the Flux coming in first from Liga. Slept out of it, but Dia still taken down. The card advancing forward. Someone's going to have to touch. The Flux comes through and pulls them away from it there for just a brief little moment, but it's getting closer and closer. 0.19 meters left to go as Shy finds Molly, gets Becky, the headshot there at point blank range. He's looking for a little bit more. Langza taking low, pulls back, breaks line of sight, and once more Shy with almost no HP has to retreat. Liga
he just keeps on getting away with it.
Now starting to roll back, and yeah, I don't know how he continues to survive these scenarios, but the Valiant, they do manage to win out the fight and stop the Spark here, at least for just a moment.
And the Spark as well, they committed to the actual high ground play with only 3 members, but it was so hard to dislodge unless Marvel wants to throw in a Flux, and hindsight would say maybe that would have been the right call to make. They weren't going to dislodge them at all, and most of those members stayed alive, including Shy, who just refuses to die. And at this stage, okay, still 240, it's a good amount of time there. Payload distance is also fantastic for the Hangzhou Spark. Alfie's had enough of this playing. He just wants to go towards Genji, find that blade, go for the W. They lose Irony, but this is just a farming fight for the Spark. They trade even.
Yep, it's a trade out onto the Zenyatta's. Long run back for both of them, but now Liga taken down. Super Rich just too much that he wasn't able to keep up with there as far as the healing is concerned. Now he himself has fallen. 2 minutes and 15 seconds remaining here. The Hangzhou Spark, not much further left to go.
It's a big reset, though. This time, it's a real reset. You don't see any Hangzhou Spark members kind of hanging out unnecessarily. No one's spending extra ultimates. There's no ultimates that just play for either anyway. LA Valiant are actually the ones with the ultimate. So the closer this gets to the OT, which is still just under 2 minutes away, the more impactful this Dragon Strike is going to be. He's probably just going to end up using it now anyway, or when Hangzhou Spark decide to go for this fight. Still feels like a pretty long defense ahead. Spark don't need a win just yet. They're still just farming ultimates for now.
Okay, there's the Dragon Strike. Liga caught in a little bit of a bad, precarious position. Discord Orb goes out onto him. He was antied as well, but uses the Kinetic Grasp. Eat up some of that damage, keep himself nice and safe. Rich tagged up a bit. The Nano at the ready for Molly. We'll see where he decides to invest this one. As Marvel falling lower and lower, now has the Flux available for himself.
Shy's on the flank already,
through.
so this is where Hangzhou Spark, I mean, they're not interested in playing main anymore. Finally, the ultimate starts to come online. Marvel goes first.
He takes him down. Rail didn't connect, but it didn't matter. Still did enough damage to go ahead and finish him off. Didn't connect to the head, I should say. Slangza has to pop the Transcendence. He moves forward. It helps keep Marvel alive and in the fight. The Flux not able to find too much of anything, but now that's going to be the Flux coming in. The Trans has expired. He drops him back down. Langza is dead, as is Dia. Marvel now getting taken out. The Pulse Bomb, a Hail Mary here from Becky. Only able to find Alpha Yi, but he cannot continue to occupy the cart. They will glide forward into victory. And welcome to the Overwatch Liga. Hangzhou Spark, they pick up the map win. They move up 2-0 in the series.
And that ends up being the Transcendence that breaks the camel's back there as well. And as I sort of mentioned, there were 2 minutes remaining. Great patience being shown by the Hangzhou Spark. They don't need to push their luck. They don't need to kind of just go straight into the LA Valiant, play super aggressively, bait ultimates out of the LA Valiant, get that Nano out of the way, get that Transcendence, Dragon Strike, get all these different ultimates out of the way, bank up your own ultimates, even if it takes you until the overtime to push to the victory. That would be the right macro play, the right macro call to make from a strategy perspective. And that Hangzhou Spark, they managed to force out the trans from Lengsa. I don't even know why or how or what got him to pop that Transcendence, but it gave Liga full permission to drop down the map-winning Gravitic Flux to get them that victory.
Well, there you go. A 2-0 lead now here for the side of the Hangzhou Spark, who are looking for yet another 3-0 victory. The Valiant in a position where they need to reverse sweep once more. They've been able to do it in the past. Can they do it here against the Spark and try and deny them from advancing forward into that second place slot here in the APAC region, or at least for maintaining it? I kind of forget where they are at the moment. Anyway, it doesn't matter too much. We'll see if they can get it done, though. Circuit Royale going to be coming up once more, which means that we can probably expect to see Dia sticking through for the side of the Valiant. Can he have as much impact as we saw from MN3? Probably not, but he's the one who told us that MN3 is the best in the league. We'll see if he himself can put up a strong performance and help the Valiant get a map win under their belt. Circuit Royale is coming up in just a few minutes, so don't go anywhere. And we are back at 2-0 lead here for the side of the Hangzhou Spark over the Valiant, who now need to reverse sweep if they want to walk away victorious and deny the Spark from occupying that second place spot going into the mid-season madness tournament. We'll see if they have it. You know, it's been kind of close at times overall. Kings Row, yep, they give it the point, but they do a decent job of draining down the clock. But unfortunately, they cannot get that win. And now, staring down the barrel of a reverse sweep, never a great spot to be in. We see Easy Han going to be coming back in for Becky.
And technically speaking, I mean, we've seen Valiant reverse sweep before. They did it to Fusion not that long ago. Sorry, Philly fans. I mean, I got to keep you honest a little bit here. Can't just gas you up forever. Got to, you know, we got to level out and be grounded. One player that I'm going to talk about here, right at the bottom of the screen, another Overwatch League debut. Pineapple coming in for Alpha Yi. I think this is the first time that we've seen Alpha Yi even being subbed out. And this is going to be the double hit scan substitution in. We saw how good that was for Fusion just before versus Soul Dynasty, Carpe, M3 playing together. Now you're going to get the two hit scan players of the Spark playing together as well. Pineapple has been sitting behind Shy as a bench player this entire season. What's his history? He was a teammate of both Irony and Alpha Yi coming through from Billy Gaming, which is Spark's Academy team. So another Academy graduate from Spark's own system now debuting on the stage.
I'm going to mortify her once more. Just give me a nod. Will the Valiant reverse sweep this series? What do you think? I'm asking my wife once more. Is it yes or a no? She says yes. She said the Valiant are going to reverse sweep it. So there you go, Tezande. She's got your back. She's also a believer. We'll see if they can make it happen. She
predicted Shanghai 2 days ago, so you know that's so far 100% prediction record. You know, boom. Sorry, Spark, but you know, it's we've spoken the reverse sweep into existence now, so it's got to happen. Also, Tay's pretty good at predicting reverse sweep. He said Valiant reverse sweep versus Fusion, and then it happened.
And they did.
Can't deny that. Can't deny that. On the other end, though, I want to talk about the fact that, okay, well, Becky's been subbed out for Easy Han, so we're finally seeing Easy Han and Dia play together. That's also not something we commonly see, simply because, well, you know, they cover kind of the same role. And as we move on to Circuit Royale, I mean, I think every team that has two hit scan players on the team is now feeling justified, like, yep, this is the reason why we have double hit scan, so we can play maps like this and matchups like this as well.
I mean, well, just given the amount of DPS players that the Valiant have, they should have all of those roles covered, surely, right?
I mean, they have as many as Spark have. Yeah, both teams have 4 DPSs. Don't talk to me about the fifth one. I don't think he exists.
And the Spark are finally starting to utilize some of them, as it turns out. That extended bench that they've had for a good long while is now starting to get used here in this last match here of the regular
Architect
season.
Got played. Not on DPS,
True.
but Architect did get played, so I mean, technically speaking, he's there.
It was an El Clasico for him going to the Ana, something we haven't seen for quite a while. Forward contest here from Easy Han, trying to get up into the grill of Shy a bit. Does force him back, now has the statue all to himself. Rail charged up, see if he can find a nice shot. Goes sliding across, it's going to be a body shot there on a Shy. Takes him low, and that's the alley-oop set up. Dia gets the head. Nice little dink there across onto Super Rich. The Immortality field now cleared out. Super Rich in a bit of a rough position, just ducking and diving as best as possible. Trying to stay ever elusive, but he cannot keep Bernard alive, and he cannot deny Dia for too much longer. The shot will come across. He gets Pineapple on the back end of it, and there's the cap for the Valiant, making a great time here on A.
Yeah. I mean, this is just going to be further staggers that can help. You can actually see through the silly where the Irony is on 1 HP and very stuck. Marvel's going to push up and collect that kill. This is kind of the beauty of having Marvel on the team, right? Because, okay, he's fantastic at doing, but guess what? Another hero that he has specialized on the path is the Sigma, so he gets to stay in and play the Sigma also. It's an incredible talent to have on the team that is flexible enough to cover these kind of different roles, and as 4 members of the Valiant push on up, they'll get the payload into position as well, so, you know, in terms of playing for objective, all the strategy, pretty sound so far. Mechanics on point as well, as Dia has the lead on the infra site. Shy has now finally caught up.
Okay, we've got sight for sight. Both teams getting full information here on their opponents. Marvel, I thought he was out of that flux, but does narrowly get clipped by it. Immortality field from Legs that will keep him alive. Just go ahead. Keep him topped up. Window for window now as we continue to match. Super Rich going to be sniped out of the sky. Shy, however, answering back finds one, but Molly takes Shy's head off. Marvel moves up, gets on top of Bernard, and that is going to be the team kill coming through as Valiant just continue to storm their way through this map. 5.5 minutes nearly for the final stretch. This is insane.
Marvel thinks he's still playing Doom. The guy just like full man modes into Burner and the rest of Hunger Spark. I don't know if you saw that. He just walks over to Rain and just runs at Burner full speed as fast as Sigma can float over. And the guy is just like, oh, this off tank? No, this is a main tank. I'm playing Doom currently. He's just running at the Hangzhou Spark. That was incredible. Rock in the face to the entire squad. And now 2 points collected. 5 minutes still to capture C. I mean, this has got to be a map completion. This is a lot of time.
Pineapple. The Dragon Strike at the ready. Already half the distance here at the final stretch given up. Hangzhou Spark just wanting to continue to contest around Pool, but you see the Valiant, they're not really interested in fighting over that area, at least not until they round this final corner. They're just going to keep the cart presence right here down on main.
Well, they got to force Hangzhou Spark to... That's the thing, right? They got to force Hangzhou Spark to respond to them first. Now, usually what happens if you don't contest Pool is Hangzhou Spark have all of the high ground to play with, but I don't know if they're really utilizing that to its full extent. You see Burnout kind of poking through every now and then to apply that high ground pressure, but otherwise you have 2 members on the ground here. Valiant are finally going to step off the payload because they don't want to be walking to multiple angles, and now they're going towards the Pool, so got their swim trunks on.
I mean, they've got the cart moved up to such a position where they say, okay, if we can win the fight for Pool, we can just drop down. The cart's right there, and we continue to advance. They've shoved them back. Pool's closed for the Spark. As Pineapple just trying to cheat around the corner there, get some storm arrows through, but isn't finding too much damage. Cart now ever closer as the music cue comes in. Dia moving forward.
Whoa,
for a target. See Shy. Shy sees him. Shots not going to connect, though. They go their separate ways for the time being.
That's a very important 1v1. If Dia actually kills Shy, he has payload control, he can start pushing.
Big Flux. Transcendence going to be used in response. Fills everybody up. Immortality Field should still be alive. Now it's going to be the counter trans in the back end. Molly helping to keep Marvel moving forward. Flux now from Bernard, picks them up, drops them down. Immortality Field is there, keeps them alive for a little bit longer. The pushback comes through. I thought Bernard for a second actually had that elimination on Easy Hunt, but he did manage to keep himself alive and in the fight, just sliding right back through. Now Bernard's going to be dead. Irony swapping over to the Ana. Pineapple to the Tracer. The cart's still advancing forward. No one can touch it. No, they can. At the very last second, Pineapple manages to make it forward, but as he recalls, the completion is there, and it's with nearly 3 minutes left in the time bank. This was a monstrous performance from the Valiant.
I think we saw a over 3 minute time bank on Circuit Royale yesterday. I'm trying to remember what game that was, but it was an extremely one-sided Circuit Royale. Might have been, you know what? I actually can't even remember. But it was very similar to this, but a little bit quicker. I got to say though, I thought maybe Burnout whiffed his Flux for some reason, but no, he did actually catch some people. But in either case, he was solo. He was alone. Couldn't just kind of solo the entire team, 1vx on LA Valiant, who at that stage had multiple members pushing payload. Pineapple, as you saw, could only touch briefly, and then had to step off the payload, had to recall there, and well, Irony can't really get back on there. Just isn't enough members left to go for the touch, and I think there were 2 down on members anyway, so LA Valiant, we expected them to cap. We expected them to cap with a reasonably good time bank as well. 258 is far more than reasonable. That's excellent.
Yeah, I mean, just pretty much impeccable the whole way through. I love the way that the Valiant piloted this entire map. I mean, great shooting at the beginning to be able to break through, get that point A cap. They just didn't get slowed up at all. And then just pushing the payload all the way basically to the finish before they challenge at Pool whatsoever, saying, okay, Spark, if you want to stop this, you have to come down off that high ground. Spark does not. They give up an immense amount of space. Then the contest comes through, they get rid of that high ground occupation from Spark, and then they're able to close it out. So it's just beautifully done from the Valiant.
Yeah, it was I remember now, it was Shanghai Dragons versus Guangzhou Charge yesterday. And well, Shai will take down Dio almost straight away in the opening fight, so that's going to allow the Hangzhou Spark some pretty reasonable unimpeded time to play with here. Marvel even eats a rock. LA Valiant realistically can't really compete for this until Dio returns.
Wait for him to rejoin, but for now, card's still just going to be brought forward, so good amount of time for him to get back into a nice position on that high ground. He's actually going to drop down as the corner contest begins, and Easy Hunt gets a nice snipe, the rail to the head. Shy out of the fight.
Just for posterity as well, Shanghai Dragons had a 3:27 time bank versus Charge yesterday, so 29 seconds ahead of what Valiant had here. And I still don't know if it is the fastest Circuit Royale ever, because I forgot to ask Noah, but I have to suspect it's one of, if not the fastest one. So Valiant trying their best to also have as dominant of a Circuit Royale as possible here. And certainly with Spark already kind of slowing down on this initial A approach, we're not expecting an insane time back from them anymore. They just need to finish this map in any sort of time that they can. Trying to find whatever picks they can as well. Shy had Dia's number early on. That's kind of quiet for now.
Gonna jump across the grapple. Dia is relocating, knows that the card is going to start advancing forward, and the statue is no longer going to be a safe position for him. Pineapple now take up that position, start firing some arrows out from the back. Marvel falling low, Shy once more, finding Dia, getting the better of him, goes for another pop shot. Not able to find too much, but now it's going to be the Flux invested from Marvel. Looking for some kills, but he's not going to get too much of anything. Lings and Molly both get taken down. Pineapple cleans up too. And while it's not the same neck-breaking pace set here from the side of the Spark, it's still a pretty damn good time. It's 4.5 minutes plus in the time bank for them.
And the important thing will be how much can they snowball this, right? Okay, you have the solo push from Irony. The rest of Hungry Spark will go up as far as they can, similar to what Valiant did. A bit of a difference here would be that at this same point, Valiant had a pretty big stagger kill to Irony. If you remember, he was kind of caught on the side and Marvel ran at him. Valiant will have all 5 here, no staggered deaths or anything, so instantly Hungry Spark have to respect that and back out.
Pulling away. Valiant once more, just looking to play the corners. So we'll have the infra sight here from Shy. Dia not having nearly as much impact, not getting nearly as many shots across.
Flux will be next,
quite far behind, so it's getting lapped. Yeah, as you say.
Burner.
Has it ready to go. The
That's
trance is not there.
They can't really slow down here. The Flux should come through very quickly because Payload is stalled out. They have ultimates to play through. They can't allow Valiant to catch up on ult, so this is not acceptable in terms of slowdown from Spark. They have to keep pushing.
Molly. Trance nearly there. The window to open up. Valiant trying to buy themselves some space here.
Molly's got Trance now. The window's closed.
Oh, he tries to go for the Dragon Strike and they cancel it. Dia with a great shot. He finally finds some immense value there with the Widowmaker. Shuts down the ultimate. It's completely burned, and because they didn't pull the trigger and use the Flux, Molly's just got the Transcendence ready to roll.
Well, they don't pull the trigger on anything, and then finally when they do pull the trigger, the gun is just whacked out of Pineapple's hands, like you say, because the Dragon Strike got cancelled. How did they not use the Dragon Strike immediately when the window came on through? Links up pops Amplification Matrix, cool. You have 2 counters set. You have both Dragon Strike or Flux, one of which needs to be instantly deployed. This is exactly textbook how you fail to play tempo. Hungry Spark lose all pace.
Bernard out, looking for the Flux. Catches one. Immortality Field, however, there is just tucked around the corner so they cannot clear it out. Lings survives, and Molly, he continues to hold on to the Transcendence, not feeling any pressure whatsoever towards using it. Pineapple now dead. DPS cut down. Shy will answer back. A good headshot there on Easy Hunt.
Oh, nice.
Dia as well. Suddenly there's a massive opening, and Shy looks incredible. Was looking for Lings as well. Can't quite get him. Irony will claim that kill for himself. As Marvel tries to make his way out to not get staggered. Hangzhou Spark. Again, respectable time bank. 3 minutes and 40 for the final stretch.
Okay, look at this. Dia's actually gone over towards the Tracer, and that's just going to be, I think, a decision made where I believe Shy will probably end up swapping off at some point as well, maybe towards the Sojourn, just because sightlines for Widowmaker becomes a lot worse on C compared to the rest of the map on A and B. So we'll play the infra site, see what happens afterwards. Burner pushed up very far forward in advance, as you would expect, but the full force of the LA Valiant are here, so they have to back out.
Good forward pressure here. Dia on the Tracer, just poking and prodding where possible. See Shy. It's a little bit of damage his way, but needs to play respectfully here, given what Shy was just able to put on display for us there on that last point defense.
They should be able to get this last corner off the infra site. You can actually see the payload is still moving and the silhouette below. It's going past the window of the pool now, so Dia on the Tracer has to challenge this one, but he doesn't want to point to the infra site. Finally, it's gone.
There's a Flux, Super Rich dead. Bernard dropped as well. Irony trying to escape, but it's a great Flux accretion connection there from Marvel. As it continues to push the issue. Find Shy on the back end. And now Valiant establishing some control of this cart. 2.5 minutes left to go for the Spark.
Yeah, really good play from Marvel there to control space and just get the damage and kills as the Sigma player for this team. You're in a sort of position now where, okay, like you mentioned, time is well below what Valiant have in terms of their time back. We expected this, we expected the Spark. We're not going to be able to match that, but what time can they get? Because they're going to be very far behind if they can't with barely anything available. Burnout working on that next ultimate, but you still see the effects of the earlier B defense. Valiant have barely spent. They got 4 ultimates online, including the same trance that Molly has had for a while.
Diving in the back, he's looking for the stick, and oh my goodness, he gets it! Dia, what an opening. Takes down Irony. More time bought. Cart again just being brought forward as much as possible. Shy will find Langza. Window of opportunity. Shy finds Molly. The support's taken down. He's trying to get Dia. Got shots flying from either side. But the rest of the Spark, they're not in a position to try to capitalize off of this. The cart's just going to start rolling back once more.
Yeah, I mean, they're good trades. It forces Valiant back, right? It will give some space control back to the Spark, and immediately, because Valiant vacate the high ground, Spark take it. And we talk about having 4 ultimates online. Spark, another team with 4 ultimates online, nearly 5. With the infra site, which will be really important to scout out what is looming ahead in terms of high ground control, which towards the pool is exactly what Valiant want to play for. That's a great window position when they want to go for it.
And Easy Han taken down. Bernard pushing up towards pool, managing to find that elimination to kick things off here on this final stretch. A minute about to remain. As you say, payload starting to move forward, and Shy gets Dia. Continues to open things, utilizing that infra site to its fullest. Grecian not going to connect, but I don't think they're going to be too bothered by it, because Easy On is just permanently occupying the respawn room right now. Dead as soon as he tries to rejoin the fight. Volley now left out to dry all. It's lonesome here in main. Ends up falling. The cart continuing to inch forward. The flux is there, but the Transcendence counteracts it. Things are now taking down the window. Set up. Pulse bomb. Not going to get the stick. Easy Han with the overclock. Wheel Dome Pineapple. Dia now once more taken down. Easy Han with another headshot. Is that going to be enough, though? Molly returns. Takes out Bernard. Easy Han. The Overwatch Harmony sat on him.
They
as they try to buy
stabilized.
enough space, but they're making it happen. Irony and Super Rich die as Molly claims kills on the enemy supports. 15 seconds remaining with just shy of 2 meters left to go.
And they're all swapping here. Here we go. Burnout back on towards the ball. Shy going towards the Ash. Okay, we'll take it. Pineapple Tracer as well. They got to run for this payload. Can anybody touch? That's going to be the biggest question.
Pineapple, okay, he gets it. The OT now forced out. Bernard playing on the high ground, ready for the pile driver. Should he find an opportunity to use it, but the Discord Orb goes over towards him. He's going to be slowed up. He makes his exit. The heals getting pumped through. They manage to keep him alive, but Chai is going to be the first one who falls. The rollout coming in. He's looking for the slam. Hasn't found much of anything yet. So far, just the singular kill. 2.2 meters left to go. Pineapple going to be taken down. The delay tactics here for the Son of the Spark are running thin. Pulse bomb out, not finding anything. Anti onto 2. The kill's not quite coming through yet. Lengza down to a sliver of HP, but Molly manages to keep him alive, and Super Rich cannot get the touch. The Valiant, after setting such a fantastic pace on their attack, will successfully defend just in front of point C, and this series is not done yet.
Yeah, it's got to be the loss streak broken there for the LA Valiant as well in terms of, well, not series, but definitely maps, right? They were 0-0 in maps so far in their last 3 games, and now finally they'll be able to come back and get one ball. That is going to be great for the confidence of the LA Valley. They definitely deserve to win that map. They were ahead pretty much the entire way through, and even if Hangzhou Spark had actually managed to get the cap, you would have seen their time go from 0 to 1 being boosted up to 1 minute, a further 1 minute being added on for the LA Valley, which gives them 3 minutes 58 or something like that, nearly 4 minutes versus just the 1. So it would have been a very one-sided time back. So great stuff by the LA Valiant to clean this up.
Well, push now. All that is separating the Valiant from taking us into a map 5 as they try to pull off yet another reverse sweep. Hangzhou Spark putting out, experimenting a little bit. Liga able to find the victory for them, but it seems like Pineapple, with that seat unoccupied, likely going to be stepping away, and we should be able to expect the return of Alpha Yi. We'll see what the comps look like, though, because both of these teams have been playing musical chairs a bit with the rosters. Let's see what they piece together for what could be the final map of this set. Again, Hangzhou Spark needing to close this out if they want to occupy that second place spot for better seeding going into the midseason madness. Valiant is looking to shut them down and keep them locked in third. We'll see if they can pull it off. We'll see if they can extend this into a 5th and final map when we come back for New Queen Street. And we are back, and we're not done quite just yet. Hangzhou Spark unable to find victory there on Circuit Royale means that this series carries on to New Queen Street, where the Valiant continue to try to engineer yet another reverse sweep.
Well, it certainly looked good on that last map. I mean, if they're going to get a reverse sweep, they need to be coming in pretty hot, and that was certainly a great map coming through from Valiant, both attacking side, defending side, fantastic time bank, and then end up being a hole that prevents the entire, time bank from coming through. We don't even get to the second phase. Sashin being subbed in for Marvel here. People that are confused, like, why would Sashin come in? It is New Queen Street, it's a push map. Sashin's going to probably just one-trick the Zarya on this map, and that'll be how they get it across. So the coaching decision is, we're not going to play Doom here. Maybe struggles a little bit, at least that's what Nohill's going to believe, and we're going to be playing instead the Zarya. The further substitutions is that Alpha E, like you said, is going to come back. Burner has the option between both Ball and Zarya, so a little bit more flexible on the Hangzhou Spark side. And I'm grateful to see Pineapple being subbed in, don't get me wrong, but he basically only played Hanzo, something that Alpha Yi could have just played himself anyway.
Yeah, I think Hangzhou, this is widely just a, hey, look, you know, the qualifiers are already over. We're probably contented with either the second or the third place spot in the region. Obviously, still wanting to be able to get that second place spot, but
you can't be content with third here, because the difference is, if you get second, they could get top 4 global, which is a major difference from not being top 4 global. I believe they even get a bye, they get pick priority. So, for those not aware of the stakes, Hangzhou Spark, if they win this matchup with any scoreline, just as long as they win, they will confirm second seed out of APAC, and Shanghai will drop down to third. And again, getting second, Shanghai can't get top 4 global, but because Spark have the points, they have the differential, they have all of that kind of behind them, they can get a top 4 global here potentially. It will also depend on what Dallas do to London, or vice versa. Like if London can upset Dallas, it will impact things as well. But Spark cannot come in lightly at all. This is not the series for Spark to be like, we'll settle for third. No way.
Okay, rather, let me maybe phrase it this way. Maybe the Spark are saying, we're in a good spot. We have a 2-map lead. Liga got his playtime. And we're playing against the Valiant, so we think we can put Pineapple.
But when you
that's basically
underestimate the
Valiant.
But when you underestimate the Valiant, that's what happens. That's what happens. Because the Valiant are no pushovers this season. They are definitely no pushovers. If you give them an inch, they will take at least 2 inches, which means they could actually win.
3, 2, 1.
Well, let's see what happens now.
Oh, and by the way,
Bernard's going to be matching
this is going to be that, forget the Zarya, but there's also the Lucio and the Sombra coming up through. This is one of those no-hill 5 AM compositions coming through. You asked for it, he delivers. You're saying, like, where are these, like, late-night comps? Boom, we got one. Technically, though,
all right,
they finished New Queen Street with this versus Fusion, so can they do it versus the Spark?
Time will tell as the opening volleys come through. One thing to be concerned about is certainly going to be Shy back over onto that Ashe, as well as Alfie, who's just, you know, back in the lobby in general. Back up there on the Sasha for just a moment. The bubble helps keep him protected, so he does manage to exit, but the Spark are going to have control of the bot first and foremost. You start getting some distance set up here on the map.
Alrighty. Shy at 41, and, you know, again, we saw how getting in threes Ashe was on this particular map. We'll see if Easy Hunt ends up thinking about swapping over towards that at some point as well. I'm starting to really believe in this Ashe pick on a majority of the maps. Alpha on Tracer is a very welcome sight, though.
Rotate around the back. See if he's able to find much value as Easy Hunt starting to contest here into the top walkway. Innovation there. Coupling with him, his irony does get taken down. Russian finding the opening kill. Bot, however, still not really moving at all. And we'll start shipping it back. As quick jump in, Shy taken down. Easy on gets him with a headshot.
Okay, that'll be the bot turning around now. The 19 meters of the Spark won't be.
Bernard dying here could be bad. Very, very bad indeed.
That is going to be bad. It's a big stagger. I mean, your main tank's gone. Valiant will be able to get maybe 40 meters here, a further kill as well. Hangzhou at this point need to very much just back on out. Pulse gone.
There you go. There's the lead for the Valiant as the triumphant horns come tooting. Innovation picked off though. Good counter action here from the side of the Hangzhou Spark, but the lead is set up. Valiant now up by just 12 meters.
Innovation, 93%. So the fact that he died means he didn't quite get the last few percentage points. I'll need to find it now because they can definitely engage with an EMP. The Nano's there from Irony as well. Should be plenty of members from Hangzhou Spike you see on the high ground here in the walkway. They should be able to dodge this EMP. So we'll see where this gets set up for Innovation.
Got the hack out on the Alpha E. A little bit of harassment down on the enemy Tracer, but not going to lead to a kill. Bot going to be halted up. 10 meters left to go to tie it for the side of the Spark as Bernard tries to get closer and closer to this grab, but doesn't find it. EMP goes out, doesn't catch anybody. Rally's going to roll from Super Rich.
Yeah.
Okay, got one, sorry. As there's the grab now. Super Rich going to be the first one to fall. The Nano goes out of the shot to try to keep him alive throughout the rest of the fight. Transcendence is there, now the counter grabs. The headshot comes in just moments before the beat drops. Langza cannot save Innovation's life. Shy still getting tagged lower and lower, but he put a considerable amount of damage there. On to Molly. Bernard was in position to go ahead and get the finishing blow, so Zenyatta out of the fight. That's the pickoffs coming through. A bit of an even fight, but overall the bot's still going to be locked into place, which is perfectly fine for the Valiant.
And Valiant have slightly closer respawns here as well. The EMP only catching one doesn't really give them any difference. So, you know, you're right. It might as well have been 0 there. Alpha, he just shrugs it off, instantly recalls away. Surely this is a kill to Molly, and it is. Alpha, you're having to expend the extra recall for that one, but you'll get the 5v4. You'll take those any day of the week, as this is important for pushing the bot further forward. Easyhan should follow this as well. So, Innovation falls. Easyhan next, and the payload should be thinking about taking a lead here.
Yeah, okay, there we go. Alpha finally got on top of him. Easyhan was able to grab the Mega Pack to stay alive and buy a little bit of extra space for himself, but now Sashin going to be taken down, and Hangzhou Spark have an opportunity to take this lead and potentially get to this checkpoint. I think the recontest should come through before that happens, but they can at least get pretty damn close.
They don't have, well, actually they do have good touches. I was going to say maybe they don't have quite a tracer, but Sombra can touch here, Lynx can touch on towards the Lucio as well. The question will be, how do you survive against this? The Shy's getting set up here. He's not that far from a Bob, and a Bob will absolutely have to get this cap once that 30% rather has been bridged by Shy. Definitely less than 30% now.
Okay, now they contest. Just a couple meters left to go for the checkpoint here. Bernard with the Discord Orb, not finding too much damage going his way. Alpha, he tries to dump it, the Pulse Bomb, not going to find the stick, just jumps away, keeps himself from being hacked there by Innovation. Continues to try to poke and prod at the Tracer. Another bomb at the ready, and he's going to invest it immediately. Goes charging into the side room where they are all at. Bob going to be firing away. No sleep dart, obviously, for it. And that bought enough space for them to go ahead and get the caps. Another forward spawns are here for the side of the Hangzhou Spark, should they suffer any losses.
Irony looking towards that Nano. I mean, this is further snowball available. We have to wait for this next EMP, and it's got to be better than the last that we saw out of Innovation. Los Angeles Valiant could be losing a lot more out of this if they don't get the kills now.
And the bubble timings here from Sasha helping to keep everybody alive. Molly narrowly surviving there, but now Easyhan gets taken out. Bernard, the grab, nearly ready to roll, and everybody in a pretty contained spot. It would be massive that he decides to pull the trigger on it. Instead, we'll just go ahead and spy check Innovation, taking him out of that stealth, and Langza will go ahead and get dropped. The Hangzhou Spark now with a massive push coming through.
That was a must-win fight for the LA Valiant, I fear, because Hangzhou Spark now about to get an insane lead. And this will be difficult for the LA Valiant to come back against. They have 4 ultimates, but nearly 5 actually, but they're going to spend big time to be able to stop this. We're at 19 meters already. This is disastrous. Valiant got to pull the trigger.
Yeah, and this all started from, what, 30 meters, and it basically has gone uninterrupted. EMP out 1 to 3 members, but Molly is going to be the one to fall. And LP just getting in there, one-clipping him, it would seem. Molly not being able to pull the trigger on that Transcendence to keep himself alive. Grab, comes out, catches 2. Bernard trying to stay alive, counter grab. Super Rich will fall. Easyhan able to find that elimination, but it's going to be the Big Bang combo as Alpha Yi takes out Sasha and follows up immediately for a kill onto Langza. The bot can continue to push. Hangzhou Spark do not want to go to a map 5. They want to try to end this right here, right now, but they realize that they, with the loss of Shy, have to pull back. Alpha Yi as well going to go down, but they have done their damnedest to make this insurmountable.
And this is a 107-meter lead here as well. And, you know, look, if you were watching Washington versus Titans, you'd be like, oh, yeah, you know, just come back.
It can happen.
Much easier said than done. You have to be doing something pretty bad to allow a major comeback like that. So, LA Valiant, they got their work cut out for them. Hangzhou Spark have certainly made, you know, they drew the line in the sand. They know exactly what they have to defend against. Another Bob online, so it could be a big difference maker here in the next fight.
Big energy there for Bernard, but Shy going to get taken down. Good opening kill from Sasha. He's trying to build up energy for himself and also catch up in regards to that ultimate. And that's a big window of opportunity to make it happen. Easyhan sniping him, resetting the energy. Now looks for the chase. Can't quite tag Alpha E in the back, but Super Rich was out on an island. Ends up going down. And yeah, now a good amount of time here for the Valiant to get this push across. Try to make it to that checkpoint. That's going to be the first objective here for them. Easy Hunt, nearly picked off, retreats.
Okay, the Bob should defend his checkpoint, so once you see this payload coming on through, Shy will send that one flying on in. And just like they use the Bob to cap the point, they'll use the Bob to defend the point as well. It'll be hard for the Valiant to overcome. EMP will definitely be able to hack it out for some time, but...
Alpha E is dead.
There we go.
Bob not exactly in a position to keep this contested, but it's enough to force them back. So now the bot is going to be shifting away. Sachin poking out of the window, or the doorway rather. Tries to keep it locked in place. Still getting chipped away at. Bot not going to be going too far. Innovation goes down. Nano now going to be invested.
One
Bernard,
shot.
the recipient. Mega Pack going to be snatched up here by Sachin, trying to stay alive, trying to keep himself sustained. And once more, Bernard has the ult advantage, as well as the energy. The bot back into a neutral position. The Spark now looking to retake the lead as the Transcendence is used by Molly. The grab is going to come through. Sachin, he gets dragged out of line of sight. They can't try to keep him safe. And he ends up going down, and that's massive here for the side of the Hangzhou Spark. EMP connects. Bernard, focused by the Discord Orb to use the bubble, keeps himself topped up. It still is hovering around 100 energy, which means that he is absolutely terrifying to anybody on the side of the Valiant.
Well, Sachin Zarya now has the Crocodile Surge available. My goodness, by the way, EMP, both of them have just been worthless. EMP is just such a bad ultimate, I'm sorry. It just truly doesn't make any difference at all. Innovation being dead. Okay, Hangzhou Spark have 5 alive. They don't need to push, by the way. They just want to shove the bot into LA Valiant territory, and then they kind of back up and play defense. They force out a sound barrier.
And they're going aggro on this one. An aggressive beat into the grab. They manage to find Super Rich, but they cannot get the second elimination. LPE still ducking and diving around. Pops the recall. Manages to recall and immediately kill Molly on the back end of that. Izzy Hunt does find him, gets that punish, but now we're down below 1 minute remaining. 50 seconds left of the clock as the bot is being shipped back to the midpoint of the map.
Yep. And now Innovation's on an actual hero. You know, does very similar things to a Sombra, but actually does damage. Ultimate is actually good, and is just not a bad hero. So here we go. LA Valiant starting to swing things around into something more acceptable. But Shy has another Bob. Hangzhou Spark have time on their side. They have still double the meters. I think for LA Valiant, they have to push basically double what they have currently, which is a lot to ask for. And they don't even have checkpoints, so we still have the stall moment for the bot.
Sachin falling low and Shy, able to break through that bubble. The healing output from this Zenyatta and Lucio duo is just not going to be enough. Langza cannot occupy that bot space alongside of his Zarya, so he just ends up going down. Transcendence now going to be used by Molly as they try desperately to get themselves scrambled back over towards the bot. They're trying to keep this contested. Innovation diving around, but now Easy Han taking out. The Dynamite finds Langza. Oh, just sending him into another dimension. And with Innovation dying, that should be the end of it. Unfortunately, Valiant will not be able to extend this and take it into a map 5. My wife has a 50% prediction rate now. Nice. Unfortunate for her, but the Hangzhou Spark are going to be feeling pretty damn good because as they win this, they will clinch the 2nd seed.
Absolutely. Shanghai Dragons, I think, you know, they understood the stakes. You know, they did the best they could. They won the matches rather than they could. And, well, really it just comes down to what can Hangzhou Spark do, and Hangzhou Spark can have a blistering finish to the Midseason Madness qualifiers here. As, you know, the final map, I have to say, was definitely not a valiant effort coming through from the LA Valiant, but it was a mighty fine cleanup from the Hangzhou Spark playing pretty much their A roster again. Okay, we've given Pineapple and Liga their little debuts here. They played well, they could. Liga, I think, actually had a pretty good performance in Kings Row. But going back to the tried and true Shy Alpha Yi duo, that's what you're going to rely on. That's the horse that's going to get you to your destination. Speaking of which, Shy is going to be our player of the match here for his heroics today on a multitude of different heroes, as I think one of the few plays that didn't actually get subbed out as well.
Yeah, they're the entire time for the side of the Hangzhou Spark in the support lineup, kind of just sticking through the entire way there. But yet again, the Ashe players continue to excel and rack up these players, these player of the match awards. Shy continues to absolutely pop. And when he swaps over to the Sojourn, still looking incredibly good, as you see just the point-blank headshot there on the Becky. Absolutely gorgeous, but the Widowmaker is really where he really started getting into the groove. They're on Circuit Royale, despite the map loss.
Yeah, I think that's important to note, right? Because LA Valiant with a better team here on Circuit Royale, but even with that, Shy still showing what he can do on the Widowmaker, I think was very important. To be able to kind of push Valiant to well, I was going to say closer game, but close in the fact that Shy tried his best to make it close. But I think a lot of what we saw out of Shy that was great was also on that original map of Ilios, where you see his ability to take down Innovation. And I remember saying at the time as well that part of the reason why Ash is getting played is to shut down those tracer plays. We see him kill Innovation through the transcendences of, can't remember which one was playing the Zenyatta there, might have been Linksa. So, yeah, great stuff by the Hangzhou Spark to, despite dropping a map, which I think LA Valiant deserved to win, Hangzhou Spark have proven that they are more than a capable team, a team that is deserving of the top 4, and a team that I hope will do some real damage when they go overseas. Final standings here as well.
Yeah, here are the standings. I think I actually said Shanghai Dragons at the end of that map, but that's because I had Shanghai Dragons on the mind as the Spark were able to get the win at the very end and overtake the Dragons, knocking them down into that 3rd position. So Spark, they got what they were after.
Look at the record.
A 9-3 record here, and while they're just behind the Dynasty as far as that map differential is concerned, they're going to be feeling pretty good about the 2nd place.
Yeah, it's 3 teams at 9-3. That is very interesting. 17 plus map diff for Seoul Dynasty, plus 15 for Spark, plus 9 for Dragons, obviously because they had an 0-6 start in this Midseason Madness qualifier, and Kickoff Clash had multiple map 5s there as well. Hunters will go down to 5-7, so I think one piece of mind here for Fusion is that, you know, I think they can firmly claim that they are definitely going to be one of the top 4 teams. On record alone, we can, even if we remove the Kickoff Clash extra bonus tournament points, 6-6 is a better record than 5-7, so there you go. Philadelphia Fusion, they deserve this one. I think we can be pretty conclusive about that.
Oh, for sure. It was just impeccable from them. And, you know, while Shy continues to look really good on the Ash, I mean, MN3 right now, in APAC at least, there's nobody who can hold a candle to the performance that we saw from him and the rest of the Fusion here today. So, again, we're keeping our fingers crossed that we see more of that from the Fusion, from all of our teams that are going to be moving forward over into the mid-season tournament because, of course, you know, we want to kick NA's asses, as it turns out. And we want to go ahead and prove that APAC is, in fact, the more dominant region, and I trust in these squads to be able to make it happen. Incredible stuff here today. I think for the Valiant, No Hill back to the drawing board when it comes down to those new Queen Street compositions, a little bit rough around the edges, and I think, unfortunately, one of the biggest things is that when you have Sashin come in, you know exactly what to expect. There's no real way to surprise the Spark unless you can really start building out his hero pool a little bit more, because you know exactly what's going to happen when you see that come through. You know it's going to be the Zarya, and you don't have any flexibility around that, and it just leads to people saying, where's Marvel? So, unfortunately, Valiant unable to make the reverse sweep happen, but the Spark looking good. All of our teams, I have the utmost confidence in. How about you, Avril?
Yeah, I'm feeling good about it. I was a bit worried about some of the teams, but I'm now much more confident about them. We already knew that Dynasty and Dragons were going to be great, and now Fusion and Spark can be added to that list.
All right, well, we'll see what happens, of course, down the line once that tournament does come to fruition, once it is ready to kick off. And can't wait to see it. That's going to do it for us, though, here at APAC. Of course, there's going to be one final day of NA coming up in a few hours. We'll see if the London Spitfire can get that upset victory over the Dallas Fuel. Always question marks when it comes down to the NA play. Never know what you're going to get here in the 2022 season of the Overwatch League. But that closes that out from us, so thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. And hopefully see you real soon. Good night. Bye.